Good evening. Day one in Kobe in Japan, the Universiade Memorial Stadium for the 2024 Para-Athletics World Championships. We've already had a tremendous morning session, really well attended, and 2 world records as well in the morning session here. We've got 7 more finals to be decided in this first evening session, just approaching 5 p.m. Japan time. And most of that action will be in the field. This is where we are for this 9-day World Championship. 1,035 athletes, over 100 countries represented. Just about the same numbers as usual, even though we have the Paralympic Games on the way in Paris in a few months' time. In terms of track finals later on, men's 100 meters T47, women's 400 T37. This is what we have coming up first. We have got 4 very early field finals. Women's club throw F32. Most of the main ones are in that. Men's long jump T11, complete visual impairment. Di Dongdong, the perennial champion from China. Field of 5 in that. Men's shot put F55 and F37 as well, happening simultaneously. First round action on the track. Women's 400 T11 gets us underway. We've got some qualification in the men's long jump T47, but then we've got finals to wrap up a little bit later on. We've got the men's 100 meters T47. That will involve the world record holder, the World and Paralympic champion Patricio Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil, and the women's 400 T37 final. That is the second strongest physically of the coordination impairment categories. These Alcaos of South Africa, Jiang Fen of China, among the strongest candidates in that. And Selma van Kerm of Belgium as well. Success. It's been a really good, warm day here, in contrast with yesterday where it was cold and overcast and very, very windy. 21 Celsius now. It's perfectly clement and the wind has died down, although in the morning session, particularly in the long jump, it was giving quite a few of the athletes a real helping push. All of the flags there over on the stand on the far side. So in terms of big names not here, well, Marcel Hoek, Catherine de Brunner, Kimberly Alcamada, among them, almost all of the champions are here. Those in the longer distances, particularly in the wheelchair, a few of them have decided to concentrate on the Paralympic Games, plus they've had the marathon program as well. So very good evening from Will Downing. We are starting at 5 p.m. Japan time, all the way through all week, 9 a.m. UK, Portugal and Ireland, who don't have a team here, 10 a.m. Central European time, Central African time, and this is going to be the start time all week. So greetings from me, hello to Tolson Tollett as well, and to Steph Reed.
A very good evening as we're watching the T11 men warm up for their long jump. Very difficult category this. It's really must be one of the toughest things you could possibly do as someone hurtles down that track, and you can hear, you just heard a moment or two ago, the guide who claps the athlete into the pit, and they take off from a much larger surface area from where they jump into that pit. We'll get into that a bit more when they actually get into it, but it is a very, very interesting subject indeed to talk about, because those athletes, whether they be male or female who do it, is a very difficult thing to do. It is day 1, it is session 2. We'll have 18 sessions over the 9 days, double sessions on both days, and hopefully the weather is set fair and remains as it has on this opening day thus far. Steph Reed, a former world and European champion, alongside us. And Steph, what have you made of day 1 so far?
I don't think it could have gotten off to a better start. We arrived the day previous and it was cold and it was windy, and we thought, oh my goodness, what are these athletes going to be in for? And then today we came, the stands were full, the sun was shining, and we've already had 2 world records.
Yeah, a load of school children were bussed in earlier today. A nice way to spend their Friday, coming in to watch some para-athletics and some of the best athletes in the world. And some of those are just watching at the moment. Some will be in action this evening. Some will be awaiting their chance over the coming days. No Minecraft tonight, lads. It's watching the athletics outside. Much better for you. Good to see the families out, enjoying the sunshine and enjoying the world-class para-athletics, which is set to get underway very shortly indeed. As Will mentioned a moment or two ago, we have those field events to get us underway. That one there, the club throw, which is just being set up, the seated category, so they'll take all 6 of their club throws, have 3, take a little rest, get a drink of water, and then reset and go again. We have a dozen people going in that club throw competition, and we've also got a strong field going in the men's long jump T11, just the 5 starting in that one. 23-year-old Chen of People's Republic of China, who we saw sitting just down there. Maxim Shaprikov, lifetime best for him of 6.18, the man from Nepal. Certainly got some size about him, I can tell you that. Very tall. So the last minute preparations, you can see the board just down to the bottom left of your screen being scraped over there. Now the athlete, different to other forms of long jump, will take off from that long board, and wherever they take off from is where their mark will be taken from. Being the complete visual impairment category, that is how it is done on a wonderfully sunny day. So there's no complaints whatsoever. It's actually quite remarkable. 24 hours ago there was wind and all sorts and a bit of rain thrown in with it here at this venue, and now, well, you swear you're on a different planet. Kobe is the venue. It was supposed to take place in 2021. It was then put back. It was then put back again. So 2024, the first time there has been a World Para-Athletics Championships in East Asia. The third time in Asia after Doha and Dubai, but the first time in East Asia, and it has not got off to a better possible start. So the women's club throw, F32, is going to get underway shortly. Now, it does take a little bit of time, being the seated category, so it will mean you need a bit of patience for it. Now, field of 12, that's the opening 6 there. And we go all the way down to the bottom there, Ibrahimi of Tunisia, who is the current championship record holder. She's won gold in the London 2012 and 2016 Paralympic Games as well. And she has 4 World Championship golds to her name. She'll go as one of the favourites. There is the lady who will go first, Anna Maskova. She was a silver medalist in Bydgoszcz in 2021 from the Czech Republic, or Czechia as it now is. Nice sweeping hills around the outside of this stadium. Multi-purpose venue. It's been used for rugby as well.
Yeah, when you're approaching it, it's like kind of a flying saucer has just plunged into the skyline. Still looks futuristic, even though it's over 40 years old now here.
So we're just waiting for the rest of the field there to be introduced, but we're going to get away without the first thrower.
Yeah, it's how they've done it already in this competition. They've all lined up apart from the first person who's throwing. Anna Musakova of Czechia, the Czech Republic. Silver in the club in the Euros, the last Euros that have been held 3 years ago in Bydgoszcz. Her 2 World Championship performances have seen her finish 6th and 10th. It's a large field, it's 12 in this, and obviously everybody gets strapped in for 6 throws at a time, so this will be on for a few hours at the very least. And right at the end, we're going to see this one, Mara Ibrahimi, the perennial champion in very many ways. Now the Paralympic World Champion isn't in this, more about that in a moment. Juana Brito we've seen of Brazil, silver in the shot last year. Maiba Ibrahim of Morocco, bronze in the club last year. Boscolo Castillo of Brazil. This is Maxilo Akramova on a championship debut for Uzbekistan. Next up for the United Arab Emirates, 4th in the club in 2019 in Dubai, Noura Al-Khtaibi. Next up for Algeria, a woman who has won a plethora of World Championship titles. She's the reigning shot Paralympic champion with the Academy of Algeria. Evgenia Galakchanova, who's a neutral athlete, that's what MPA stands for. For the UAE, 6th in the World Championships last year in Paris, Tekra Alkabi. For Latvia, 9th in Dubai 5 years ago, Baiba Rababa. For Argentina, 5th in the club at the Paralympics in 2021 in Tokyo, Marilu Fernandez. And about to throw. Again, she's had her practice throws. Next one will be for real. Silver in the club in Bydgoszcz 3 years ago, Anna Muzakova. So it's Rosa Kozakowska, Poland, who's the reigning Paralympic and World Champion, who is not in this. And as we saw earlier with Kuharczyk in the T20 women's long jump, some of the reigning Polish champions are not here. Just about every country that we normally expect to see is present, and just a smattering of champions are not. And that's a decent throw beyond 15 meters. Czech government have asked that their country be called Czechia in English, but you ask anybody from that country, because their own name in Czech translates as Czech Republic, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, we're from the Czech Republic, like that woman giving the votes in the Eurovision the other night. She's got Czechia on the top, but hardly anybody in the country is aware of the name. Anyway, that's beyond 15 meters. That will be her off the mark, and a couple more attempts to come before she gets the drinks in. 15:45 for Muzakova. She's a 20-meter thrower in her day, and her best day this year has been 18:95.
Now, as we go through this event and we see the other athletes, you will see quite a lot of variety in terms of technique. The F32, it is a coordination impairment, and you have the freedom to throw forwards or backwards. You can hold the club however you want, and it's a great event because it means that there's a lot of variety. Athletes can really tailor their style to maximize their abilities.
Well, she has in one way the luxury of going first, but also kind of means in the seedings that she's expected to finish down the way a bit. 16:75, it's an improvement. And this is her last before she can take a quick little break. It used to be a while, good few years ago, when it was 3 throws each. And oh, that's a nice improvement. Hey, she likes that. So that's got to be the most awkward athletic stance around, because you're viewing it upside down, basically, when you're looking back to see how well you've done. And that's what she's been doing there.
I do wonder, typically the athlete expected to win goes last in the seating. And the good thing about that is it gives you the right of response. You can see what everyone's done, and you can then go out and lay down your mark. However, I can't help but think I would much prefer to go first, because you get out, you know exactly when you're up. You can time your moment perfectly, whereas at the moment, Ibrahimi is going to have a long wait sitting out there on the track until she gets her chance to step into that circle.
18:08, which is a very nice improvement, and it's within a meter of her lifetime best this year. So F32, coordination impairment, and the lower the number, the heavier the impairment. Which is why the club throw is in play for the F32 and the F51 athletes as well. So she's had her sustenance, she's had her first few throws. Now here come the next three. I have to say, by the way, this morning there were loads of schools who were in for the day, and that stand on the back straight was really well populated. It was virtually full. It's actually really a joy to see. I mean, excellent crowd, estimating very high four figures, maybe 8,000-9,000 this morning, which has to be probably the London Paralympics apart one of the best attended morning sessions in para-athletics I can remember anyway. That is around the same mark as last time, but a good improvement on what you did earlier on. And on the home straight as well, it's an improvement of 2 centimeters, 18 meters 10 on the home straight. It was really well populated as well, coming back towards our commentary positions, which is as usual hanging over the line, maybe 3/4 of the way up the main stand in this Kobe Universiade Memorial Stadium. This is where the fatigue begins to set in a bit. She's put a lot into her throw so far, but that's going to be a little bit closer to her than the 20-meter line.
The action with which she throws is quite impressive. You can see how she's using her body as a slingshot to really whip it. And just in case anyone is wondering how heavy those clubs are, they have to be a minimum of 397 grams, and they're designed specifically because grip is one of the most important things when it comes to throwing events. And so the shape of the club is designed to give the athletes as much variety as possible in terms of how they want to grip it to maximize the use of their hands and their arms.
17-14 was the previous one, and this looks to be around the same mark. So Musikova, a really good silver medal in Bydgoszcz 3 years ago. Going to have 5 years between European Championships, when the plan was they were going to be every 2, but the calendar was skewed. 17:44 to wrap up. Musikova sets the standard at 18 meters 10 is her best. But it's a little bit down on what has been her best this year, but now really for very many it's one of the big showpiece events of the track and the field.
Men's long jump T11. Lex Gillette, he's a showpiece man. He's not here for this one though. The world and championship record holder. We've got a field of 5 going in this one. Di Dong Dong, the world and Paralympic, the reigning champion, will head out in this. There'll be 3 athletes from China amongst the field of 5. This is the first of them, Chen Xiyang, 23 years of age. Lifetime best set this year of 6:39. The neutral Paralympic athlete, Maxim Shabrikov, lifetime best of 6:18 for him. He's a big, tall man. Yi Tao, also of the People's Republic of China, silver medalist last year in Paris.
From Uzbekistan, Egnazarov Ogenchbak.
Egnazarov of Uzbekistan, he's a 6:32 jumper on his day.
People's Republic of China.
And of course the man who is the reigning Paralympic and world champion, Di Dong Dong.
Men's long jump
6:65, his lifetime best. So Lex Gillette holds that world record set back in 2014, 10 years ago in the USA. He also holds a championship record that was set in Dubai 5 years ago. He's not here, but there's a strong field of 5 with China dominating 3 of the athletes going. And this is a real fans' favourite competition, this the T11 long jump. There's so much that goes into it. The guide plays a huge role in what the athlete does. There's a lot of sound involved. and they need pretty much complete silence when the athlete is about to run down the track before they take off for the pit. We'll mention it again when we see it in a moment or two's time, but there is a longer takeoff board in the T11 complete visual impairment category. So the athlete, where they take off from, is where the jump will be measured from. Now, sometimes it does go completely wrong, but when it goes right, it goes spectacularly right.
When he said there's so much that goes into it, I thought you were going to say there's so much that could go wrong, but it is true. And we had the privilege of watching the warm-up, and there were quite a few aborted attempts, which I think really just underlines these men are the best in the world at what they do. But those aborted attempts underline how difficult it is to run in a straight line at top speed when you have no vision. T11 men in the call room, they are checked to ensure they have to wear gauze over their eyes and then an approved eye cover. They have absolutely no visual markers, just the sound.
Yeah, I was there in Doha back in 2015 when Lex Gillette missed the pit pretty much and hit the boardings on the side of the pit. And I remember him seeing him, he hit the side and he hit the ground and he had a graze up his leg and didn't bother him at all. Now, he didn't win on that day, but it just shows you the type of people that have to do it. It's really, there's so much mentally that goes into it as well as physically. Let's have a listen to this. Well, that's the perfect way to start from Chen Xichang of China. We got a great view there from that camera work as he came down the runway, and he didn't waver one bit. He looked straight down the middle. His guide steps aside at the last moment, and where he jumps from on the board, a larger board for the T11 athletes, is where that mark will be taken from. So that's an outstanding start to the competition for the man from China. He'll be very happy with that, and I'm sure his guide is there very happy as well.
Wasn't it interesting this year when we heard all of the controversy about the possibility that able-bodied athletes might switch to this system? And I don't know how that's going to turn out. Lots of different opinions on both sides. But the one thing I do know, it was not a new invention. It's been happening in the Paralympics for the past few decades.
Yeah, no shame in coming along and taking an idea of someone. Just awaiting that mark. And there it is, 6:55. It is a new championship record. It's 10 centimetres further than Lex Gillette's record I just mentioned a moment or two ago. Well, it was a wonderful run down that runway there. His guy worked it to perfection. The takeoff was brilliant, and he got the distance as well. 6:55, championship record. His lifetime best before this for the 23-year-old was 6:39. And his first major championship, how's that to start off? Not bad at all.
Do you know what? You could hear it in the crowd. As soon as they got out of the pit, you could hear the oohs and the ahs, and they were desperate to get in and cheer. The Japanese volunteers have thought of everything. There's actually someone in the audience with a board that says, be quiet, just letting the audience know in this particular event, as much as we want to hear your cheers, they have to be quiet so the athlete can hear their assistant.
Well, try following that up. Maxim Shaprikov, who's a neutral Paralympic athlete here at these games. He's a very tall, rangy runner. Well, that's not too bad. He's jumped from the back of the board there. It won't matter, though, because it'll be marked from there. You have to remember that. 6:18, his lifetime best. 6:08, his best thus far this year.
This is quite interesting because his assistant actually set him up to the very left of the runway, but by the time he got to the end, he was central. So again, that's just an example of how the coaches work, and they know their athletes, they know how they're going to move. Yeah,
it's a balance thing there, isn't it? They're moving across to that side. They know they're doing that, and he's got I said beforehand, he's got a big rangy run, and he did exactly that, and took those big giant strides. And Shavrikov is just awaiting his mark there. But 6:55, if you just joined us, for a championship record for Chen Shijiang of China, one of 3 going in this event. His opening jump at a major championship, and he's broken Lex Gillette's record that stood since 10th of November 2019. So 5 years ago, or thereabouts, 6:13 for Shavrikov with his opening jump. So it's a season best for him. So championship record and season best as we head into jump number 3 in a moment or two's time, with the second of the Chinese to go in Yi Tao. And you mentioned there about the athlete just gone, Shavrikov, how he was set up to the far side. This is exactly what's happening here. You can see where he's on the runway there, Yi Tao. Just imagine if you went outside and blindfolded yourself and just ran, and try and think of your equilibrium and try and think of where you would go, and if you would go in a straight line before you got to then the stage where you have to jump.
I think it would be scary running with the guide, and this is doing it without one.
It's scary enough for me thinking about it.
Oh, he's gone beyond,
Yeah,
I think.
he has gone beyond.
Yeah,
and that will be a foul. Now, if he'd have pulled up just beforehand, it would have been okay, and he could have gone back and jumped again. But because he stopped and went past the end of the board, it becomes a foul. He looked like he pulled up in time, but then he just kept on going, didn't he? So as he takes off, or tries to take off, he then gets told to stop, and he just pulled up too far. He goes over the board there, and that is a red flag. So if he'd have pulled up beforehand, he could have gone back and reset and gone again. But as it is for Yi Tao, it is a foul for his opening jump. So no mark at all. Disappointment for him, but I suppose his guide might be caught in a question then to try and make him stop a lot earlier than he did.
Well, obviously you would have hoped he could have stopped, but it can be quite tough on your hamstrings and on your quads to slam the brakes on like that. Sometimes it is just better to let that run. I was thinking about this event earlier. We saw earlier today where the athletes on the track were guided by their athletes. I wonder if in the development of this event, at some point they tried guided long jump, and then they both went down and just decided this is too dangerous, and arrived at this iteration of it, which actually is quite dangerous in itself.
Yeah, we know the person who invented a lot of these events, and I think a few of those were trial and error, weren't they?
The world record for F55 is held by...
So no joy for China in that one. Any joy for Uzbekistan. Let's see. The Yamnazarov will be the 4th of the 5 in this to go. The last of those will be Di Dongdong. He'll have his work cut out now because he's chasing down a new championship record. He does have a best of 6:65, mind you. So he is capable of jumping that distance, is Di.
Representing Bulgaria, Rusty.
Well, it looks like from the TV monitor there, like it's an exceptionally short run-off. He's got about, they're only about 5 metres. I can tell you, though, that he is about 30 metres back. So it is deceiving when you see it from the camera angle we just saw.
Now, I just want to say as well, the red cone is up, and I think because they're making announcements in the stadium at the moment, he actually can't go because there's complete visual impairment, obviously, and if there are any distractions, and he's not going to be able to have his... I just want to mention something that happened earlier today, by the way. If you were with us for the morning session, Joanna Mazur won her heat semi-final, really, the women's 1500 metres T11. You might remember she had a little hiccup about halfway through. She was coming around the bend, coming into the closing straight, and it was determined afterwards she'd taken about 3 or 4 steps into the infield, and that was disqualification for her. We'll see her shortly in the 400, but Joanna Mazur disqualified in that, and Hei Shan was given the victory instead, of the women's 1500 final will be coming up tomorrow.
F55 final.
So we'll almost be ready to go here with Gamzarov. It's the F55 men's shot put, which was being announced in the background. So now we have the cone taken away. That is deceptive, that camera angle. It looks like he's about 5 metres from the pit. I can tell you he's not. That's better. Well, that's a legal jump there from Gamzarov. He's taken off way back. It's to be measured from the edge of the board. And he will have a mark.
You got me very interested in his stride after looking at the runway, and I was counting it. He is coming in around 13-14, which is a little bit shorter than what able-bodied athletes would do. It generally tends to be around 18 to 20, but if you can imagine, every single step gives you just that small option of drifting, and so actually a shorter runway in this event probably will work out more consistently. Now, by my eye, I don't actually think he touched the takeoff zone, which is okay. All that means is that his mark is going to be taken from the front of the takeoff zone, so he will have missed a little bit of distance on that one.
Correct. It wasn't actually that far off the edge, though, so he didn't lose that much, but he would like to be on the actual board. It certainly would help.
I actually do think in this event, as opposed to taking off from a board, they have about 1 meter of chalk laid out on the track. But I actually think you get more pop off a board. Of course, this is necessary for this event, but I do think that these athletes are a little bit of a disadvantage when it comes to really transferring that power from your speed, because the wooden board, it's just that little bit more solid.
Yeah. Well, here's Di Dong Dong, the reigning champion, world champion and Paralympic champion. He's a twice Asian Para Games gold medalist as well. And his first jump, he's looking down at his compatriot Chen at the top of the leaderboard, who set the championship record with his opener of 6:55. 10 centimetres further than that is this man's lifetime best. Now, he was nowhere near getting onto the actual takeoff area there, and I think he pulled out of it mid-air, so it won't be a great distance. He put one leg down and decided to pull out mid-air, and we'll see from the replay here, but he always looked a bit nervous there when he started, even from the very beginning, and he just went sideways slightly, and then he straightened himself back up, but you can see there he just pulls out mid-air and lands on the one leg there.
As a long jumper, I was watching that, and just the body awareness for him to know as he's pulling out of that jump in the air where that pit is and to come down that balanced, I mean, that is just phenomenal. And we don't talk about athletes' impairments. We don't want to focus on them. We're just speaking about them because it's necessary to understand the athleticism that we're seeing.
Yeah, there's a fair chance if you and I did that and came down on one leg, we'd probably buckle our knee and something would happen to us. But he's managed to land in the pit and keep on going. So he's given a distance of 485. Sometimes you'll see people probably get back on themselves and just call themselves a foul because they don't want that. But he sits in fourth position. So Yi, with that opening foul himself, is at the bottom of the pile, and D is currently sitting in fourth position. But up the top there you can see the man who's about to go again, Chen, with a 6:55 championship record.
He started off brilliantly, didn't he? He's only 23 as well, and he is, for us, very much a new name.
Just to give you a quick idea too, he actually ran into a slight, or ran with a slight tailwind when he went, and then we went down to Yi, who went a couple of jumps later, and he was running into a slight headwind. So it is moving around a little bit down there.
Yeah, the windsock is kind of somewhat static at the minute. I was interested, by the way, with Di Dong Dong in that he has two guides, and the one who was closest to the takeoff area was still very far away from it. But he is the perennial champion, and he knows what he's doing. But so does Chen Si-Chang. He's our leader. He hit that perfectly. Oh, that's massive! That is massive by Ji Jiang. Well, he's already got out to 6:55, a championship record, which is 18 centimeters off the world record of Lex Gillette, set 10 years ago, almost to the day. That was a real whopping effort by Chen. A fantastic leap. He just met the chalk area absolutely perfectly.
Of all of the athletes here, Chen had the most confident runway. He runs centrally and he attacks.
Well, this, I think, could be something very special. It's hard to judge, obviously, because you've got two measuring areas and it's measured from the last tip of the toe to the first tip in the sand. And that's why there's no measuring board on the side. That's a little visual aid, but that looks quite something. He's already hit a championship record. Is this even better? 6:39 was his lifetime best and season's best going into this. He's already gone past that. And now the big weight. It was a big leap. But how far has he gone here? It's already a considerable lead of 42 centimeters over Shavrikov in second. 6:62. It's another championship record, and he is 11 centimeters now away from Lex Gillette's world record. That is fantastic.
What's really interesting is that Chen is one of the only athletes in this final who's not doing the 100 meters. Now, speed obviously makes a huge difference when it comes to long jumping, but I wonder if he has just really focused on this event and focused on the long jump runway. Maybe that's why he's able to run it so confidently.
He's got a wonderful running style as well.
This could be a China 1-2-3. Day down in fourth place with an effort not up to his usual standards. And I mean, you can say about Ye as well, who had the slight error in going too far and crossed the plane, and it was a red flag. So Shavrikov, who is a neutral athlete here, he's lying in second spot, 6 meters 13, just about half a meter behind Chen. And he went off early, and he's given away a few centimeters there. He went before the chalk line, so they'll measure from where the chalk begins. He's given around 5 to 10 centimeters away, just looking from the naked eye.
You can see again, he starts off on the left side of the runway and then just drifts quite to the center. And I was thinking about possibly what is the best way to really explain how difficult it is to run without any visual markers. Anyone who does yoga will know that one of the ways to make any exercise harder in terms of balance is to simply close your eyes. And I think that just really helps people to understand just how difficult it is to run without any visual markers.
He's been out of international action for a few years. The Europeans in 2021 was the last one that he participated in. His last World Championships was 5 years ago. There was no mark in that. 5:71. He has left a little bit behind there. He was close to the chalk, probably 10 centimeters thereabouts, so that would have been about 5:80, probably no more than that really. So now this is the interesting one. Ye Tao, silver in the World Championships last year, behind Di Dong Dong, and the same story again late last year in the Asian Games in Hangzhou. Bronze in the 100 meters. He was in the Asian Games. So Ye Tao, let's see if he can get this one right. He was fluctuating to the left a little bit there. He's got a white flag though. It is a fair attempt. And he does have a mark on the board incoming.
And you can see there that his foot just clipped the edge of that takeoff zone. And as long as they have an imprint, they can use it.
I'll tell you in a moment how he did. But first,
Well, there's the lady who we spoke about a moment or two ago, Johanna Mazur, who was disqualified from that 1,500 metres earlier, looking to come up with something else in this women's 400 metres T11. It's the first heat of 3. She'll go from lane 7. Salcedo Rodriguez will go from lane 5 of Colombia. Lu Ku Qing, gold medalist in Tokyo over 200 and 400. She won gold in this in 2016 as well in Rio, and also won gold at 2 World Championships in 2015 in Doha and 17 in London. And inside, the lady who finished second in the 1500 heat was due to go. Yep, Kemai will not start. So only 3 going in this one, and it is the first who will go through to the final, and then we'll have the next fastest advance from those 3 heats will go through to the final as well. So Johanna Mazur, disqualified in the 1,500 metres. She won bronze in this back in London in 2017. She won gold in Berlin in the Europeans in 2018. So Lou will be the one to look out for from 3. Salcedo Rodriguez in 5, and Mazur has gone in 7. Now this being the Tier 11, as we saw in the long jump, complete visual impairment. They have to be tethered to their guide. The tether is checked out, everything is measured, and they're away and running well. And Mazur is just dropping back into last place over on the far side there into 3rd. Lu Ku Qing looks very solid indeed, along with her guide Chen Xing Ming. So the Chinese athlete, as they come around to the 200-metre mark, looks extremely comfortable indeed. Salcedo Rodriguez struggling a little bit on the outside, the 20-year-old at her first major championship, but Lu Ku Qing looks very good and very composed as she heads down into the main straight with 100 metres to go. She is, of course, the world record holder, which was set back in 2018 in her native country in Beijing. 56 seconds on the clock exactly for that one. This one won't go anywhere near that, but she's cruised through to victory. Salcedo Rodriguez comes in 2nd place, and Mazur in 3rd, some 10 or 15 metres further back. But a nice, comfortable run there for Lu Ku Qing. No issues whatsoever. And she moves through to the final with consummate ease. She may not look like it there, but Steph Reed, she did that very easily indeed.
That was a very smooth race from Liu, but I have to say, I really like the way that Salcedo Rodriguez attacked. She really poured it on in that first 200 meters, knowing that only the first in each heat goes through. And even if you are in a heat with a world record holder, you still have to give it a go. So well done to Salcedo Rodriguez. Mazur, so tough being disqualified in the earlier heats. And look, a 1,500 meter, 400 meter double is always going to be really difficult. 2 entirely different energy systems, but maybe a chance to run out some of those frustrations from this morning.
Entirely different energy systems, all right, but 2 extremely difficult events in the 15 and 400 metres. There's confirmation of Lu going through to the final. 58.36 for her, the reigning champion. And Salcedo Rodriguez will have to hang on and see if she's fast enough to go through. 59.87, that's a decent enough time though. Mazur coming home in 102.65, and Jeb Kemai, after that 1,500 metres earlier, did not start in this one. Heat 1 of 3 goes to Lu Ku Qing of China.
Just about Ye Tao's most recent attempt in the long jump, there was a measuring error because it's come up as 1.99 m, which it certainly wasn't. And it's still registered at that, and there has not been an attempt since. And they've obviously tried to work out how it's come out that way. It looks like there's a supervisor who's come out and had a look as well. So that competition is currently halted for now. And we will let you know precisely in time how he has done and how that is going to continue to go. But we've got the second heat of 3 upcoming in the women's 400 metres T11. It is complete visual impairment. All the athletes are fully blind. Baldera of Peru in lane 1. Pabon of Colombia in 3, Ishitile, Namibia 5, and Tamwon Wong of Thailand is in lane 7. Really, really good athlete. But Ishitile, a World Championship silver medalist a year ago. Her first global medal. She won bronze in the Commonwealth Games in 2014 in Glasgow in the 100 meters, but silver in the 400 in Paris a year ago was very, very impressive indeed. This is Melissa Baldera of Peru, who we've seen a bit. Certainly saw a bit of her in the Paralympic Games. She was in the 100, the 200 and the 4. She went out in the heats of them all. Her guide with this is Edet Iliescas. She was a semi-finalist of the 1 and the 200 at the Pan Ams when they were in Peru in 2019. Sunipon Tanamwong of Thailand. Bronze in the 400 meters 5 years ago now, that really good championships in Dubai, but double Asian Games victory in Jakarta in 2018. There's still a delay in the long jump, by the way. It's still showing as 199 for Ye Tao, which simply cannot be right. We saw the leap. It looked certainly heading towards 6 meters. Didn't look as if there was a shoelace or anything that was down on it. So we can't really show you anything of the long jump right now because there is literally nothing happening in it. And right now, the discus, there are practice throws. And the shot, there are practice throws. And the club throw, there's a bit of strapping going on. So this is the only action that we have right now, which is warming up in this women's 400 meters T11. And the lane-by-lane introductions are still to come.
But I think what's great is focusing on this 400 meters. We've seen the amount of responsibility these guides have for, one, obviously running with the athletes, but they are responsible for the setup, and these blocks really matter. And so they have had to take care of their own blocks, take care of their guides' blocks. It is a lot of pressure and responsibility on the guides. It's a good reason why they do win a medal.
Yeah, Sem Shimanda is the guide here of Laya Ishitile, who's competing internationally for quite a long time and wasn't able to add another major championship medal to that Commonwealth Games bronze. I mean, Commonwealth Games takes in about 60 nations around the world. World Championships is a different story altogether, obviously, but what a great success for her in Paris last year. Melissa Baldera still waiting for her first major championship medal. Just beginning to get a bit cooler around Kobe now. It was around 24 Celsius earlier. There is not much of a breeze to speak of this evening, though, which is a very welcome thing. So that's gone down as a foul now against Ye Tao, curiously. Can't quite work out how or why. Tanam Wong has just had a really successful time when it's come to Asian Games. Angie Pabon as well, with a bronze medal at the last Paralympic Games. So we've had a really long build-up to this due to some curious circumstances, but now we can introduce you formally to the 4 going in this heat of the women's 400 meters T11. So bronze in the 400 in Dubai in 2019, the double Asian Games champion from 2018, Sunapor Tanam Wong and her guide Chaiwat Tongjamroon. In lane 5 for Namibia, silver in the 400 meters. Last year at Paris, the World Championships. Bronze in the Commonwealth Games in 2014. Laja Ishitile of Namibia and her guide Shimanda. In lane 3 for Colombia. Bronze in the Paralympic Games in Tokyo. Bronze in the World Championships last year for Angie Pabon of Colombia and her guide Luis Arizala. And on the inside in lane 1 for Peru. Semi-finalist at the Pan Ams in Lima, her home city in 2019 in the 100 to Melissa Valdeira, her guide, Ede Ilescas. So it's only the heat winner definitely in the final, plus the next fastest. In terms of the fastest loosest time, 59.87 it is from Jonas Salcedo in the previous heat. This heat 2 of 3. So Valdeira in 1, Pabon in 3, Ishitile in 5, Tanam Wong in 7. Well, finally they are away in this women's 400 metres T11 heat, and a very good start in 3 from Angie Pabon, who's won bronze in the 400 in the last 2 major championships, and Ishitile as well, who had that silver a year ago. Ishitile in 5, just on the outside. Pabon gaining on it slightly, but they're both well ahead of lane 1 and Melissa Valdeira, who's got a lot of work to do in the closing 200 metres. Pabon and Ishitile catching up Tanam Wong in the stagger. But Angie Pabon looks well in control at this stage. Ishitile trying to put the foot down a little bit. She'll be told that from Sem Shimanda quite a bit, but as they straighten up, it's Angie Pabon of Colombia who's bringing it on, and now Ishitile is speeding up. Ishitile's on the way, it's only the winner going through. Ishitile going out in front in the final 25 metres, and Ishitile takes it. Pabon in 2nd, and in 3rd it's Taman Wong. Very close for the guides too, but 57.94 is Ishitile's winning time in the end, and Pabon had been bringing it on so well for so long, just got overtaken before the end. Should go through though, I would think.
Such a well-judged race by Ishitile. Now, Pabon really put in the work in those first 200, 300 meters, but the thing is, it's right around that 300-meter mark, right as you're coming down the home straight, that lactic acid really hits. And Ishitile and her guide perfectly judged it. And it's not necessarily that they're speeding up, they're just not slowing down. And this was always going to be an intense heat. You have the silver medalist and the bronze medalist from Paris 2023. Only one of them could go through, and Ishitile has claimed that spot.
At the moment, Angie Pabon should be okay. She goes into that fastest loser spot. There's only one of them. Third heat will be coming shortly. And we have one of the greats in this, the reigning Pan Am champion, actually. And a lady who we saw earlier in the 15, as was the case with Joanna Mazur also.
So the 3rd of 3 heats. And there is the reigning champion, Lita Simplicio da Silva of Brazil. And just over the left of the screen there, the men's T11 long jump does continue. We'll head back to that a little bit later, but this will be the final heat of this women's 400 metres T11 complete visual impairment category. It will take a little bit of time again to get themselves sorted out and ready to go. Some athlete is that lady there. The championship record, by the way, is held by another Brazilian. You may have heard of her, Teresina Guilhermina, set back in Leon, the world's there in 2013. 56 was the time in that. And Luku Quing, who we saw a little bit earlier, she's the world record holder, 56 seconds exactly for her. So it could be quite some final that we see when we find out who's exactly going through to it. At the moment, We have a couple of definites which are there with the reigning Paralympic champion, who's through to the final in Luku Quing, and we have the reigning world champion Simplicio de Silva, who will go in this one. So that season best you see there of 102.37, whereas he of China and Mirziyoyeva of Uzbekistan don't have a season best to date. 56.60 is Simplicio de Silva's lifetime best. Gold medalist in Dubai in 2019, in Paris last year. She won the bronze in 2015 in Doha. She's won 6 Pan American Games silver medals. So she's won plenty of medals. He there you can see of China, who was a silver medalist in the 1500 metres back in 2019. Glutton for punishment, 1500 metres and 400 metres. There's a few of them around, aren't there, that like doing that? Bad enough doing one, let alone both.
Women's 400-meter team.
So they're just getting themselves
round 1, heat 3.
Into position in a moment or two's time.
Mirziyoyeva,
Sila Mirziyoyeva of Uzbekistan. She won silver in the long jump in the Paralympic Games back in 2021 in Tokyo. Just a little distance away. He Shanshan of China. As I said, she was a silver medalist back in Dubai in the 1500 metres in 2019. And Lita Simplicio de Silva will go from lane 3 with her guide, Felipe Veloso de Silva.
Women's 400-meter T11.
Season best way off her lifetime best. But you have to remember that they're building towards those Paralympic Games a little later in the year. This will go some distance towards building towards that. So the Paralympic champion Luku Quing is already through to the final. Ishitili of Namibia is also there. We'll find out winner of this race, and then we'll get our best qualifier. We'll go through.
Set.
So they're away with no issues whatsoever, which is a good thing. And Simplicio de Silva on the inside is already herring up on He Shanshan of China. She's just about gone past her with the bend there and into second place, and it'll only be a matter of time before Mirziyoyeva is overrun down that back straight as well. As we come down towards the 200-metre mark, it is Lita Simplicio de Silva, the reigning champion from Paris last year, who's doing it quite handily on the inside. But this is the area where it does start to burn a little bit, so I suggest when she gets out in front, they may be trying to conserve a little bit of energy. There's a distance in front of the moment. On the outside, Mirziyoyeva has really started to tighten up somewhat. He Shanshan comes on the inside and goes past her, but the Brazilian, who's a good 15 metres or so out in front, she'll just ease up as they come down towards the finishing line with around 20 minutes left. And Lita Simplicio de Silva with a quite handy run, has got across in under 1 minute to take the victory. 58.47 is the unofficial time which has been given. So it will be the reigning champion to just go through. 58.45, it's been rounded down to a season best there for Simplicio de Silva. And He Shanshan has gone through in second position. So we'll just get a fastest qualifier in a moment or two's time.
This is always going to be an interesting heat because within it, all three women are obviously doing the 400 meters, but you have a sprint specialist in Simplicio de Silva. You've got Hay, who is doing the 1500, so veers more towards the distance events, and Mirziyoyeva, who's doing a long jump. And I think sometimes you'll have athletes that do an event as their primary event. Sometimes you'll have them do the event because they're developing other qualities. But it will be very interesting now that we know the kind of speed that Pei of China has, what she's going to do with that in the 1500-meter final. But great run from De Silva, improving on her season's best by about 4 seconds there.
Well, I'll say at the moment, it looks like Pabon is going to go through from that second heat with her time, which was not too far off the victors' times in both those. I think she's come in ahead of Salcina Rodriguez in that opening one. But there's no doubting that Felina Simplicio de Silva is definitely through to the final. Women's club throw F32 will be our next event up, though. There's a seated throw, as we've already seen, and we'll get back to that one.
Marilu Fernandez of Argentina, lifetime best in the 6th round, 21.95. She's the second of the 12 to go. That's a belting one over 20 meters. And that is the lead. She goes ahead of Anna Musakova. But there's still 10 more to go in this. Also, we've got the men's shot put F55. This is seated category. And this among the stronger throwers of that lot. Obey Assad, 3 misses at the start, but he was able to keep going, and he went up to 9.93, and that currently is the lead in this. Rushdie with the world record, the Bulgarian from a year ago. So Abay Assad here. That's a decent throw, close to the 10-meter mark, just shy of it. 10.29 is lifetime best set earlier this year. So Assad into the lead. 9.93 is his best. He's ahead of Francisco Cedeno of Panama, who threw 9.48. And again here, all of the 6 throws are happening at once. It is China 1, 2, 3 in the men's long jump T11 now. Ye Tao up to 6.35. So he had that ratified. That was originally given as a $1.99 and then given as a foul, and this is a foul. Even though he landed towards the end of the sand, that's because he took off almost in it. Oh, he was well ahead, almost by a full human foot. It's a spectacular leap all the same by Ye Tao. And there's been a real push upwards by the other Chinese athletes who had quite a few mishaps earlier on. Di Dongdong is in 3rd spot right now. 6.29 was his 2nd round attempt. He went to 4.85 in the opening round. He chose not to pull out of his effort when it had gone wrong, and obviously that can be important in countback, especially in something like this, where because all of the athletes are fully blind, there's complete visual impairment, then you could very easily have quite a lot of fouling. Not many red flags so far. Ye gets his 2nd. He's the only one so far to have 2. 6.35. Chen, we saw his championship record, 6.62. No leap from him just before we came back to this, and Ye Tao with a no mark there. But there was a bit of a stop in this because of the problems with Ye's mark. in the second round, which clearly was over 6 meters. And well, the wrong tally came up, which can happen on occasion. But there was no reason why it should have been 199. There was no shoelace or anything coming down. I remember something like that happened at the IAAF World Championships, actually. I think it was in Korea, 2011. Now someone's ponytail was stretching back and took about a meter off them, and it would have been the gold medal jump, but instead it was 4th. Life's cruel. Organchbek Egem Nazarov of Uzbekistan. No leap in the second round, 550 odd in the first. And that looks around the same-ish again this time.
It was a good jump, but again, he's actually not touching the take-off area. But you are right about the danger of having any mark you make in the sand with any part of your body is the point from which they measure. And it's the reason now why long jump athletes only have to wear a bib on their front. They used to have to wear them on the front and the back, but even that bib has the chance of potentially taking 10 to 20 centimeters off of your distance.
Happened to Ivana Spanovic, and that cost her a gold medal the other year as well.
Which is also now why she wears her hair in a very high, very tight bun.
Well, that's no improvement. It's 550. Now it was Natasya Mironchuk Ivanova who had the ponytail issue 2011. So she lost what would have been the gold. Ended up being the bronze, and only picked up a silver after that in her career in the Euro Indoors in Glasgow, and she's 35 now, so she's still knocking around, and so is Di Dong Dong. 6:29. Third round attempt. The two other teammates of his, Ye and Chen, have missed out in this third round. He's taken off early, but he's got a good distance here. He's given away about 10-15 centimeters there. He is the defending champion from Paris last year. Previously won in the old 4x100 relay.
Through 58.59. Ishatili with the fastest in qualifying, 57.93, but Luku Quing, she'll always be there or thereabouts as well. The Paralympic champion, 58.36. Paralympic champion and world champion to go in the final of that one. 400 metres women, T11. But talking of the T11, it's the men's with the long jump. And it is China currently 1, 2, 3. Now China have topped the medal count in the last 4 Para-Athletics World Championships, and you would expect them to be there or thereabouts yet again. Now these ones. Perhaps not the man in front, though, who we may have thought. Di Dong Dong, the world and Paralympic champion, in 3rd place at the moment. 2 championship records, and his opening 2 jumps for Chen Ji Yang. Lex Gillette's record from 2019 in Dubai. Went by 10 centimetres in the opener, 6.55, and then he added 7 centimetres to it in his second, 6.62. Ye, who we just saw there, is currently in 2nd position with silver. As it stands, at 6.35, sandwiched with a pair of fouls on either side of that. And Di Dong Dong in that bronze medal position at present, as we head back to the live jumping and Egemersov of Uzbekistan. Well, that was long, but it was a red flag. Well over the line, or the board. Well, I say well over. If he was in a different category with the board jump, you'd say just over, but that one there is a few centimetres. He pulls that one back and he's in a much better position. So 2 fouls for the man from Uzbekistan. 5.59 remains his best jump with his opener. He'll have 2 more chances to atone. Just ahead of him, Maxim Shavrikov. His season best with his opener of 6.13. His lifetime best is 6.18. So pushing up towards that. But even so, he's going to have to come up with something more if he's going to break up this triumvirate of the Chinese athletes in those top 3 positions. Has got a bit cooler, hasn't it?
It has, and we're actually now fully shaded, as are these athletes. You can see as they're waiting, they've got all of their long sleeves on, pants and tops. But after the 3rd round, all of the athletes were then reordered on the basis of the athlete with the shortest distance now goes first. Again, it means that Chen will always have that right of response, the final jump.
Here goes Shavrikov with his 4th attempt. Well, that looked like he was over the front of the board as well. I'd say that's been given a red flag. Yes, it has. He looked much calmer and much better with his run then, but he got a good bounce off, actually. It would have been a good distance. It's only small margins, and when you look at and consider that this is a T11 complete visual impairment, when you look at how much he's gone over by, it almost feels sorry for them, because it's such a difficult thing to do, that you're in that position and you've just gone over by the smallest amount.
Sighting for a board at top speed is one of the hardest things that you can do. It really is a skill of this event. And I've said sighting. Obviously, these men don't have that ability to sight. They're having to listen. But you're right. For me, that runway was much, much more rhythmical than anything that we've seen. And when you get that rhythm, again, that does translate into speed, into distance. And hopefully they can make that adjustment. And he can get credit for all that wonderful speed.
You have to be careful as you're the guide as well, because you want to get out of the way before the athlete jumps, because if you get hit at that speed, it will hurt. And I have seen guides who have been clattered into by athletes before. It has happened. And they do try and leave it until the very last minute for obvious reasons to guide the athlete in. So here goes D. Well, that's a good one from D. He's well off the board there. He's nowhere near fouling. He's slightly angled out to the left, but that is a long, long jump. The question is it long enough to catch his compatriot Chen Ji Yang, who's up in 1st place? Yeah, that's lovely. Wonderful jump, good landing, good distance as well.
I mean, That is textbook technique, what Di Dong Dong is doing in the air. And you have to imagine, actually, the creativity that the coaches need in order to coach athletes, because so often you coach by using visual feedback, but you can't in this case. So you either have to create pictures with words, or you have to physically put their body in the positions they need to be in.
Well, you need one good jump to win a competition. Is this going to be the one good jump that Di Dong Dong needs? He's gone 485. 629, 629 again. What's his fourth one going to be? It looked very good indeed. Championship record of 662 from Chen Shi Chang. Is he pushing up towards that mark? 665 is his lifetime best for Di Dong Dong. After the shenanigans we had a little bit earlier, they're taking some extra time to make sure that this is measured correctly. So it's the cast of a few people down there waiting to find out what that mark is. Di Dong Dong will be one of those really waiting to find out what it is as well. And Yi is about to head off in a moment or two's time. Well, Di Dong Dong, I can tell you, he's gone 6:43. So that puts him up into second position ahead of Yi Tao. So he's now 19 centimetres off the leader, Chen Shi Chang, who has that championship record. And Yi is about to go in a moment or two's time. Is now down into the bronze medal position, and he'll have to try and get himself back up there. He's 8 centimetres shy of what Di Dong Dong has just jumped.
Just you mentioned the problems about the measurement earlier. That was Ye's jump, and it's the jump that has him in the bronze medal position, and up until a few moments ago, silver. So it was vital they got that right.
Small margins can make a huge difference. Well, that's nice from Ye as well. He's responded in kind. No issues at all when it came to where he took off from the board. You just heard his guide there just yell out to him to stand still, because he almost went back into the pit, and that would have been disaster. So Ye there, he looked really good in the takeoff and the run-up as well. A guide at the start, a guide in the line. As straight as an arrow. He got plenty of height, plenty of distance as well.
You could see right from the start the level of attack, and that's exactly what you want from your athlete, that ability to respond when someone else has just knocked you out of the silver, even if it is your own teammate.
Well, they're our teammates. I don't think they'll be teammates when it comes to worrying about where they're going to finish in the medals. He want to get as high as he can with Yi Tao. Now 6:43 is the mark, and I tell you what, he's gone ahead of it. 6:48, a new lifetime best for Yi Tao. So he's seen Di Dong Dong, the reigning world and Paralympic champion, usurp him into the silver medal position, and he's gone straight away, and he's gone back at him, and he's taken a new lifetime best of 6:48 to go back into the silver medal position. So it's still China 1, 2, 3. The order has changed somewhat, but it's still the nation who has won the last 4 World Championships as far as the medal tables goes, who leads in this men's T11 long jump competition. There are 5 in it, there are 3 from China, and they're currently taking up the top 3 positions. Oh, what a jump that was. If you want to come up with a lifetime best, that's the time to do it. Yeah, talking of lifetime bests, Chen Shi Chang has come up with 2 of them, which have been championship records. He still leads by 14 centimetres, and this is his 4th jump. So after this one, everyone will have 2 jumps left to take. Foul with his 3rd jump. He looked really good though, those opening 2. So if he can get the takeoff right, we might be looking at an extension of that championship record that he's set twice already. So the music dies. The guy moves to his mark. And Chen Shi Yang is about to get underway. Well, he went to the right then. I thought he might have pulled him up early. He's been given the red flag. He jumped well off the board. So 2 fouls in a row for the man who's leading at the moment.
I wasn't expecting that. I think that the first 2 jumps that we saw, he was running so central and so confidently. And now we can see he's just veering off to the right there. And do you know what? It sometimes happens in a competition. Sometimes things just perhaps aren't working out, and this is part of the skill. You have to be able to work your way through the competition and bring it back.
It can be mental fatigue as well as physical fatigue. Now the men's shot put F37 final. We'll head down to have a little look at that one.
Yes, this is the F37 coordination impairment. It is the second strongest physically of those, and now back to go for India. It's Manu. You always need a good Manu at a championships like this, and that's heading out towards the first marker, which is around 13 meters. 12:39 in the opening round. Should tell you, Tulaboy Yuldashev of Uzbekistan, his first 2 efforts have been no throws. Albert Chinchagov, who's a neutral athlete, he currently leads 15:19, and that is 12:83 to put Manu into 8th position, and now 7th above Enriquez of Mexico. It's only the top 8 who will have all 6 throws under the name, as Luis Lopez comes next for Mexico. 15:86 his lifetime best this year.
100-meter.
Now, if you got that, that will be the lead. That is heading towards 15 meters. Only 2 men have passed that so far. Albert Chinchagov, neutral athlete, and Ahmed Ben Mosla of Tunisia. Marif Kujayev of Uzbekistan is currently in 3rd spot, 14:39. And Lopez has overtaken him by 2 centimeters, 14:41 he goes into 3rd. Another coordination impairment category, T38, men's 100 meters into the heats. These are effectively semi-finals, and some great names going in this. Ryan Medrano, the Pan Am champion over 100 and 400. Nick Mayhew, the Paralympic champion. Yaciel Torres of Puerto Rico, championship debutant. So it's the top 3 going through to the final. Tomlin, Switzerland, Medrano, Yuzvitsky, Mayhew, Zhao Peng, and Yaciel Torres. Zhao Peng, the former world long jump champion.
On your marks.
Nick Mayhew, the Paralympic champion over the 100 and 200, and also the universal relay. The former footballer, bronze in the Pan Ams in Lima in the football. It's on DC United's books, and Joachim Cruz, the national athletics team coach, spotted him and said, well, you've got some speed, and how he proved it. Elijah Tomin in 3, Ryan Medrano in 4, Dmitry Yuzvitsky 5, Nick Mayhew in 6, Zhao Peng 7, Yaciel Torres of Puerto Rico in lane 8. First 3 and the next 2 to go through. And they're away. What a start by Mayhew. Going really well. And look at Ryan Medrano go as well. And Mayhew's fallen back. Medrano and Yuzvitsky. And that's the 1-2 right now. And Yuzvitsky takes it. Medrano in 2nd. Zhao Peng moved up very strongly as well. 11.18. Yuzvitsky gets the victory. That's ratified as 11.17 now for the European silver medalist from last time out, the man from Lille, the former rugby star, who saw Christophe Lemaire in TV winning that great hat-trick in Barcelona in 2010 and said, I want to be like that. And he is like that. He shot past Medrano to get the win.
The landscape of the men's 100-meter T38 keeps changing so quickly. Last year, Yavitsky did not medal at the World Championships at his home in Paris. But he has clearly gone away and done some excellent work on his top-end speed, closing down everyone else in those final 5 meters.
Yeah, he was 5th last year. And you might just have seen, as the results came up, a little bit of a curiosity. More about that in a moment. Mayhew in 4th place, the Paralympic champion, 11.50. And Medrano and Zhao have both equaled their lifetime bests. So Mayhew right now is in the fastest loser spot, the hot seat if you like. The next fastest, 11.50, which is a little bit tentative for him. And the only men behind him were the 2 championship debutants, Elijah Tomin of Switzerland and Jaciel Torres. Yuzvitsky gets the win, 11.17. Medrano through for the USA, 11.20, so he is a survivor. And Zhao Peng in 3rd, equal lifetime best also, like Medrano, 11.22. And Nick Mayhew, 11.50. He has to wait.
Well, we continue on. And the reigning world champion, Jaden Blackwell, will go in this one. Well, that was a bit of a shock with Mayhew. He got off to a good start in that last one, but he just couldn't maintain it after that first 20 metres or so. Thomas Young also in this one, who won gold at the Paralympics as well. Did Thomas Young. Outstanding young British athlete from Croydon, South London. There is Jaden Blackwell, the reigning champion. 20 years of age. And another man who'll be looking to come up with something special again here, not just at these championships, but at Paris 2024 as well. So Mayhew and Tomin await 11.50 and 12.15 are those 2 fastest times. Now, you would suspect that will be challenged somewhat in this heat. What a seat you don't want to be in. Some great athletes going in this race as well as the previous race just a moment or 2 ago.
And just quickly watching that previous one back, Mayhew started well, but he was really struggling from very early on in, and 11.50 is not bad, but he was just puffing a bit at the end, and maybe the timing's not quite right.
Yeah, he looked like he was treading water a bit, didn't he, after that first 20 metres or so, but it may all change around later in the year. You just do not know. So we're just waiting for one of the athletes to go in the T11 long jump. We're into the 5th round in that one. No change to the leaders. We had Chen in the lead, Yi in the silver position in that one, and Di Dong Dong in the bronze medal position. So no change as yet. So you haven't missed anything. We'll have 6 to go in this second semi-final of the men's 100 metres T38 category. As you can see on the bottom there, negative 0.1. There's barely any breeze to speak of down there at the moment, so athletes won't have to worry too much about the wind. Pompano will go in lane 3, Solis Torres in 4, Thomas Young, who was 7th last year of Great Britain, will go in 5. Reigning champion Jaden Blackwell will go in 6, the 20-year-old. Chesani Garcia of Mexico will go in 7. And Mitchell Prosper of Mauritius will go out in lane 8. So 6 named, 6 will start. There's Yi back to the T11 in 3rd position. I can tell you he's in 3rd position because Di Dong Dong has just gone and jumped 6.50. So 6:48 is 2 centimetres down on what Di Dong Dong, his compatriot and the reigning Paralympic and world champion, has just jumped.
Men's
Yi
100
Tao.
meter T38 round 1.
Just awaiting the distance from him to see if he can climb back up into that silver medal position as we head back to the men's 100 metres T38. Amanthorpe Pompana of Thailand, 22 years of age, a lifetime best of 11:57 goes in 3. Santiago Solis Torres of Colombia, he was 4th, just outside the medals last year in Paris. Thomas Young of Great Britain, he was 7th last year. He won gold in 2018 and 2021, the Europeans. Jaden Blackwell, the reigning champion after taking gold in Paris last year. Also in the 400 metres as well. We'll go in lane 6. Chesani Garcia. He's won gold in 2020 in the 400 metres. So how can he do in the 100? And Mitchell Prosper of Mauritius, 24 years of age, lifetime best set this year, 12.50, will go in lane 8. So just keep an eye on those times as well. It's the top 3 that go through, the next 2 fastest. The times at 11:50 and 12:15 are the ones which see the 2 athletes waiting at the moment to see if they can go through. Nicky Mayhew being one of them. So as the sun sets here in Kobe at the Universidad Memorial Stadium, these athletes will rise down the 100 metres of this track as they look to move through to tomorrow's final.
Set.
Well, Blackwell and Young get away very quickly indeed, and also getting away faster is Solis Torres of Colombia, but it is Blackwell and Young who are going to take it. The question is who's going to go across first. It will be Blackwell, it will be Young, and it will be Solis Torres who comes in 3rd position. Well, that is a very good time indeed, 11:09. And now we await to see. There was a bit of a gap between that man there, Santiago Solis Torres, in 3rd position, and the remaining field. So we'll have to wait and see who goes through as those 2 fastest qualifiers. But Thomas Young and Jaden Blackwell both got out to a fast start. There wasn't really any pressure on as far as to where you're going to finish because they're going to go through. But Thomas Young pushed him to the end, and Blackwell comes up with the victory.
I think the difference there, though, is just how relaxed Blackwell looks, whereas Thomas Young looked like he was really pushing it. Now, for a while, Thomas Young was dominating this event. He came in and surprised the world, and now Jaden Blackwell has come in and done the same thing.
Yeah, it's this event, isn't it? It's amazing, this event, how it has changed around over the past couple of years. Nick Mayhew was the golden one, and all of a sudden he's now gone down the pecking order and went up to Jaden Blackwell. We've had Thomas Young at European Championships and Paralympic Games and World Championships, and all of a sudden the landscape is changing again. Wonderful picture of the sun going down in the background. We'll give you an update on that in a moment or two's time. But back at the long jump T11, well, Yi Tao is in 3rd position. He's fouled with his 5th attempt.
Yeah, that was the mark we saw a few moments ago. Chen has just gone. That's the mark that's been stood in right there, right now. Leading on 6:62. Di Dong Dong going out to 6:50. We saw as well in this 5th and penultimate round. Took a while for Yi Tao's mark to come up as well. Jaden Blackwell winning that heat, 11:08, ahead of Thomas Young, 11:09. Santiago Solis in 3rd.
And the big thing there, Chesan Garcia has gone through. Nick Mayhew has just scraped through as the fastest of those lucky losers. So he goes through along with Chesani Garcia into tomorrow's final.
Back to the men's shot put, F37. Coordination impairment, the 2nd strongest of these athletes, and Enriquez of Mexico. So 13:49, he's okay for the moment in terms of being in the top 8 and getting all those extra throws. He's got that one beyond 13 meters and up towards 15. is safe there. There's only one other person who is outside of the top 8 who could overtake, so he is fine. That's bounced right on 13 meters. The order.
I think the best part about this competition has been the way that Dee and Yi have been switching spots constantly, showing that they have the ability to respond, but now this is it. This is the final round, the final chance for Dee to lay down a mark too far for Yi to respond to.
Next jumper is China's Dee Dong Dong.
This is Dee Dong Dong, who moved up to 650 in the previous round, so this is why he's going now. Yatao still has his final attempt to go. They used to reset for the final round, but not anymore. Dee Dong Dong, big moment. Can he get towards the gold here? He's got into the chalk really well. He needs to find an extra 13 centimeters to get up and to retain the world title. The champion last year in Paris, the champion 3 years ago in Tokyo. A big moment. Has he delivered at the right time, Steph?
I mean, he almost runs that like a high jump curve. He veers out, and then just at the last moment, he manages to almost to reset and bring it back in, just managing to get a legal jump on that one. And still, even though it wasn't a perfect run-up, he gets so much height and really stretches out for those final few centimeters. Great final attempt.
Well, he did so well with 650 last time. Lifetime best 6:65. That mark, if replicated, would be perfect for the gold medal. Chen is on 6:62, and when he did that in that second round, then you start thinking he's gone way beyond the championship record. It's only 11 centimeters off the world record. Because obviously there's so much energy and power being put into producing that, and it's taken a lot out of the tank. So he's got a big weight coming, and the measurement still to be produced. Because obviously it's the two marks they have to measure, and it's being done manually, which is the only way it could be done. It's just going to be too difficult for lasers to do, as we tend to have now in the more regular long jumps. That's 650 again. He's come really close, but it's going to be at very best silver for Di Dong Dong. He's shown great consistency. Just that first round attempt a little bit off, which was just under 5 meters. So Ye Tao had that lifetime best in the fourth round of 6:48, but you can see the kind of the wildness that he's had a little bit as well. That first round attempt, he just ran beyond the line, and that was a foul. Well, can he produce again the leap of his life? 650 is the silver. Hold on, and he's held up perfectly. Still got enough time. So on count back 650, which is what Di Dong Dong did, that would be perfect for Ye Tao to get the silver. He's currently in bronze with that 648. 663 required for the gold. This is it for Ye Tao. Has he got the stride right? He's gone long. The flag is white. It's a fair jump. And Chen Xichang's lead gets a little tentative. He's put a lot into this.
That was so composed to be able to go back to the start after having not such a great run-up. And it's so hard to judge these distances because even though it doesn't look visually as far into the pit as perhaps Di, Yi started way back on the board. That's almost a meter before he even gets into the pit. And so it's one of those things you really, really just have to wait and see where that measurement comes out at.
He's put so much into it, and obviously being helped down a little bit now. I don't think there was anything he had left to give. He went into this with a lifetime best of 6:37. That is 6 meters 40. Ye gets the bronze, and Chen Xichang in his championship debut gets the gold. Championship record of 6:62. Well, now isn't this a new name to conjure with ahead of the Paralympic Games? And China have got a true embarrassment of riches. They've done a clean sweep here, and it's the one who was nominally ranked third, certainly in terms of name recognition coming into this, who ends up taking the title.
You see there that Chen has decided not to take his sixth and final jump, as is his right. Very happy with the amount of work that he's done today. But again, I think just watching that competition, the difference for me was the confidence with which Chen was able to attack that runway. He was so central, so smooth, and just able to transfer all of that speed into the distance.
Well, what a performance from this 23-year-old debutant. Chen Xichang skips his final attempt. He gets the gold. He wins it by 12 centimeters ahead of Di Dong Dong, with Ye Tao in third, 6:48.
Right there, you see the commitment of a guide willing to touch your sweaty tape.
Well, they put an immense amount into it. We don't actually get given the names of the guides for the field events. That's the way it is. We have the names of the ones who are on the track. But the whack and the precision and the timing from those guides, and just think of the training just in order to get it right. An immense amount of work. So Ye Tao gets the bronze. Lifetime best of 6:48. That came in the 4th round. He had 3 misses as well along the way, but he's produced the 3 of the 4 best attempts of his career. The silver to Di Dong Dong, who's now the former champion, as that battle goes to Chen Xichang. A championship record of 6:62 to go 23 centimeters beyond his lifetime best.
The next T11, the gold medalist is Chen from China.
That was a really good competition. Di Dong Dong with the silver there, 6 meters 50. 6:65 his lifetime best. Lifetime best as well for Ye Tao. As was the case actually with the 4th placer, Maxim Shavrikov, the neutral athlete. So gold to Chen Xichang in his first major championship. 6:62 a championship record. Silver to Di Dong Dong, the former champion, and the bronze to Ye Tao at China 1-2-3.
So the shot put continues. F37 final. Dundas of Lithuania currently in 5th position. 14:36, that best of his. That was his 4th attempt then. He's won 3 European Championship bronze medals. Bronze medalist last year as well for the Lithuanian, and he stays in 5th position. Luis Carlos. Man is in 4th with 14:56 with his 3rd attempt. Got some work to do, I can tell you now, because they're at least 60 or 70 centimeters off 3rd position. Ben Mosler of Tunisia holds that. There's no improvement there. 14:44 for Luis Carlos Lopez. So he has set an America's record, but he's got plenty of work left to do. This man in 3rd position, Ben Mosler. He's the reigning champion. He's currently in the bronze medal position, though. He's got 35 centimeters to make up if he wants to get up into equal 1st position. So victory just 10 months or so ago. Currently in the bronze medal position at 15:34. So he has improved, but only by 1 centimetre. So he still does trail by quite some distance to Mukherjee, who's at the top. Now this man is 2nd, Kinshigov. Competing as a neutral athlete, 15:46 so far for him. Gave us some oomph and landed on that 15-metre mark, so it won't be an improvement on what he has so far. 15:02. As we hurtle through these attempts, this is the final attempt for the leader from Uzbekistan. Markovjev, 15.68. Smashed his lifetime best. It was 14.89 coming into this. Was given that plenty as well, but that's just over that 15-metre mark, so you suspect there's going to be no improvement there either. He's currently going to improve on the silver medal from last year in Paris and move himself up to that gold medal position on the podium where he sits at the moment. He's got 2 throws left.
This event has really not gone to plan. We have all 3 medalists from Paris, and unfortunately, Yıldızı, who came bronze, is out with 3 fouls, didn't make it to the final.
How things change in the space of 10 months. Time now to get back to the track. Men's 100 metres T37. Opening round in that one.
It is the second strongest, normally, of the coordination impairment categories. Nick May, who actually holds the world record in this as well. Lane 4 for Saudi Arabia, bronze in the 100 metres in the Asian Games in 2018, and silver in the 1 and the 2. Most recently, Aliang Nakli, lane 5 for Brazil. 2016 bronze medalist Edson Calcavante Pinheiro. In lane 6 for Indonesia, silver in the 100 last year in Paris, Santiago Purnomo, and in lane 7 for Colombia, the Pan Am 400-meter champion, Jefferson Suarez. Nakli, Edson Pinheiro, Santiago Purnomo, and Jefferson Suarez, the 4 in this. The top 3 going through, plus the next 2 fastest. Purnomo. Winning the last 2 Southeast Asian Games titles in the 100. It's also won the 200 and the 400 in recent times. And in the Asian Games, full stop, gold in the 1, the 2 and the 4 in Hangzhou last year. Nakli in 4, Pinheiro 5, Purnomo 6, Suarez 7, the top 3 to go through. Away the first time of asking. Solid start by Pinheiro, and Purnomo as well going up for Indonesia. Pinheiro fighting back from in the yellow of Brazil, but it's Purnomo will take it. Pinheiro in second, Nakli in third, and that is the 1-2-3. 11.67 the winning time. Nice victory in the end, season's best as well for Santiago Purnomo, with those 2 medals of the World Championships last year, the silver in the 100, the bronze in the 2, and the Paralympic bronze in Tokyo last time out.
And the T37 is a coordination impairment that affects one side of your body. So the challenge in sprinting is that each side of your body is producing a different amount of force. So every step that you take just to maintain your rhythm and flow, these athletes have to be making these micro adjustments.
Took it by 100th of a second, and Purnomo over Pinheiro, whose successes have been long-ranging since 2011 in the World Championships in Christchurch. Purnomo wins at 11.66. Pinheiro second, 11.67. Nakli third, 11.84. And Jefferson Suarez is through 12.16, which means there must be somebody who is not starting. And you can see that's the case in the second heat.
One of those cases where everyone's a winner.
That's no lie.
I quite fancy a hot chocolate right now. So the reigning champion will go in this next one. We also have the champion from 2019 as well. So Gomez de Mendonca, taking gold in Paris last year. There he is. They go in lane 4. And Andre Verdovin, who's running as a neutral athlete. won gold in Dubai and also holds the championship record set with that victory. So Karuli of Namibia does not start. We'll have 4 to go. And we'll also have 4 to go through as well. So walking back there on the right of screen is the reigning champion. He also won gold last year at the Pan American Games. Took bronze in Tokyo Paralympic Games in the 200 metres. Did that man there. Next to him, Al-Razani of Saudi Arabia. Verdovin as a neutral, and Malambo Ratchez of Colombia will go out in lane 7. He also won a bronze at the Pan American Games last year. We're just waiting to get all in place. After this, we'll have 2 finals later on to finish on the track. The men's 100 metres T47 and the women's 400 metres T37 to conclude the evening on the track. Plenty of field action still happening as well, though, of course, and we'll keep you fully up to date with that as we head towards the business end of those events.
Now you might be thinking, what is the point in running these 2 heats? Because 8 athletes are going through, and with our DNS, we only have 8 athletes.
Lanes,
However,
Steph, lanes.
Oh, you're right, lanes. But the thing is, these athletes will still be fighting for lane position in the final, with the top athletes getting the central lanes, which tend to be the fastest. You want to know exactly where your competitors are. So it's still a worthwhile thing to do.
And of course, it's the rules.
And it is the rules. I think we should also say, as all we have the time, it might be a bit confusing when you've just heard that Nick Mayhew holds a world record in this event when we just saw him in the T38. And so it's just good to clear up that Nick Mayhew was a T37. And the process for classification, you know, it's quite long and it's quite intensive. And often athletes in their coordination and permit classes will be assigned a class with a review happening 2 or 3 years from then. So Nick Mayhew was reviewed. It doesn't mean he was in the wrong class. It just means the review took place and he's now in the T38 class.
Yeah, you do see athletes chop and change because of that reclassification over the course of 1 year to the next. So you may see someone who's perhaps winning an event quite easily and then goes and gets reclassified and then doesn't struggle, but it finds it a lot harder at that particular level which they've been put at. As it is, we're currently at the T37 level. Men's 100 metres, the second of the semi-finals. Andre Verdovin, who holds that championship record, just having a look up there into the bleachers. Maybe having a look at the lovely sunset.
Men's 100 meters
sky around here in Kobe.
Round 1, heat 2.
I guess it takes the pressure off the athletes a little bit as well, knowing that they're going to go through to the final, but they'll still want to get that lane position. Gomez de Menonca, the reigning champion, 11:05, his lifetime best, 11:44, his season best. Al-Razani of Saudi Arabia were going 5, lifetime best set this year of 12.40. Andre Verdovin running as a neutral, gold in 2019 in Dubai. And in the outside lane, Andre Malambo Ratchez, who took bronze in the 2023 Pan American Games.
T37, round 1, heat 2, starts now.
So we're just about ready to go. They'll get called up to the blocks. Now, of course, we do say that they'll all go through. There is that one little elephant in the room, though, isn't there? A false start. Don't want that.
Now you said it, though.
I've said it hoping it won't happen.
Seven.
So not so much about times in this, it's about making sure that you finish and making sure you get yourself a good position. Demendonca is doing it nice and easily. Malambo Ratches is just coming on the outside, but Verdovin is going to take second. Way out in front, though, it's Ricardo Gomez Demendonca, who just cruises home. Verdovin, the gold medalist from 29 in Dubai, ends up taking second position. Malambo Ratches in third, and also going through will be the Saudi Arabian Tamer Al-Razani as well. So, as we expected, not too much pressure on in this one, because they all knew that as long as they got away to a start that they would go through regardless of what position they're going to finish in. But isn't he just easing through the reigning champion?
A very relaxed run from Gomez de Medonca, and even with him slowing down, he still ran a pretty fast time. 11:49, just off his season's best. And this actually is still really good for the athletes and helpful. It's nice to be able to get that run through, to come out, to go through the process, and it just means that when they come back for that final, they're that much more settled.
So 11:49, Verdovin 11:95, and Malambo Ratches also coming in inside 12 seconds with 11:99. But getting interviewed by Brazilian TV. Yeah, talking about his preparation there and talking about that he's had a good preparation, so he's happy with it.
Your Portuguese is very impressive.
I understand a little bit of it there. There was a word in there, preparado, which is pretty easy to understand. I think we can work that one out. So there's the British team looking on. A few of Steph Reed's friends, no doubt, watching around. Teams from all different nations just supporting their fellow athletes. And the crowd maybe hasn't been as good tonight as it was in the morning session, but there's certainly been plenty in here today, and they've been enjoying it. The home athletes from Japan have had a good day, enjoyed what they've been doing. So it has got a little bit chillier in the evening. There's no doubt about that.
It has gotten chillier, but the thing I've noticed as well, the wind tends to die down now. And so you kind of got that, oh, do I want the heat and the wind, or do I want a little bit cooler without the wind? But these are the kind of things that you have to scope out when you travel for these big championships. It's not going to be like your home environment, and that, again, is part of adapting to a championship, because this is an outdoor sport, and you have to deal with whatever you get.
Yeah, rain, hail or shine, the athletics still takes place. Men's shot put F55 is one of those events taking place at the moment as it moves towards the business end in that one.
So this is the 37 that we're watching here. The 55 is the seated one. Two shot put finals on at once. And leading the way very, very strongly is Marek Jaev, but we're watching Albin Kinchagov, neutral athlete. 15:46 in the third round. Has him in the silver medal position. Ben Mosla leaping up to bronze for Tunisia. And that is the best so far from Kinchagov, 15:51. And he just misses out on the gold in this final round. Here's our champion, Kudratilokhan Maref Kujayev of Uzbekistan. His attempt in the second round of 15:68 is the only one over 15 meters. He's got all of Kinchagov's efforts were over 15, but he hasn't been able to overtake the Uzbek. And this is the world champion. A great victory for Maref Kujayev. 15:68 in the second round. 14:90 is next best, and that, by the way, a lifetime best. Lifetime best by almost 2 meters. It was 13:99 coming into it. This one did not go beyond 15 meters, but he gets the gold for Uzbekistan. 15 meters 68. And what a victory. Jagov missing out by 17 centimetres in the end, the neutral athlete, and Ben Mosler in third for Tunisia. A new America's record for Lopez Valenzuela for Mexico, Luis Lopez. But this is a victory to savour for Muraf Kujayev for Uzbekistan. The Asian Games champion as part of an Uzbek 1-2 in Hangzhou at the end of last year. He won that very, very impressively. What a great throw. 15.68 as we go to the F55, the seated shot put, and the boys at Juric. So all the throws coming out once in this. Juric looking to get his rhythm right. World record held by Rushdie of Bulgaria. It's a decent throw out. It's heading out towards 12 meters. Juric, a 12-15 man in his day, and that is 11 meters, 0.57. And that, for now, is the lead for the Serbian. He's at the halfway point of his attempts as well. I do like kind of the sting music they have here. It sounds based on Elastica, but it's not quite Elastica. So they all go through. Gomez with a victory for Brazil, 11.49 there. Javelin in second, 11.95. Malambo, Al-Zurani. Yep, progressing away. And Gomez the fastest, 11.49. With Pranomo, the Asian Games medalist, Southeast Asian champion. As we go to the final of the men's 100 meters, T47. The single arm amputee category. Below elbow, and what a field in this. The reigning Pan Am World and Paralympic champion Patricio Ferreira dos Santos. Second fastest though, Corbin Best in his championship debut. And potential of him doing something big here. Certainly, he's got a good chance of pushing Ferreira dos Santos. Not the only Santos in this, because Kevin Santos for Great Britain is in this as well. A brilliant World Championship debut last year.
Men's 100-meter T47 final. Lane 2.
So first of all, the lane 2 for Brazil, the Paralympic bronze medalist in Tokyo, Washington Jr. In lane 3 for Great Britain, bronze in the World Championships last year in Paris, Kevin Santos. In lane 4 for China, the reigning Asian Games champion, and he won 5 golds as well in 2018 in that, Wang Hao. In lane 5 for Brazil, the reigning Pan Am World and Paralympic champion, Patricia Ferreira dos Santos. In lane 6 for the United States, championship debut for the American champion, Corbin Best. In lane 7 for Poland, silver in the 100 meters of the last 2 Paralympic Games, the reigning European champion, Michał Deres. In lane 8 for Cuba, silver in the 1 and the 2 at London 2012, Raciel Gonzalez. And in lane 9 for Australia, silver in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham in 2022, Jaden Page from Canberra. Well, this is some field. They have all won major medals in their career, apart from Corbin Best. Best is the second fastest coming into it, and he might be the best. Patricia Ferreira dos Santos with all the titles right now, and he'll be hoping that that remains the same in around 30 seconds' time. Washington Jr. of Brazil in 2. Kevin Santos of Great Britain in 3. Wang Hao of China in 4. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos of Brazil in 5. Corbin Best of the United States in 6. Mihao Deris of Poland in 7. Rafael Gonzalez of Cuba in 8. Jaden Page of Australia in lane 9. The final of the men's 100 meters. T47.
Set.
Away first time. What a very good start by Deris, and Ferreira's going well. And it's Corbin Best who's up ahead of him right now. It's a big fight between Ferreira and Best. Ferreira's moved up, he's taken it. Best just tied up in the end. And Patricio Ferreira dos Santos retains his title. 10:83. Deris was up there for Poland as well, the European champion. But what a win. Ferreira dos Santos with the gold, Deris the silver. 10:83 the winning time, Deris second in 10:88. He really had to fight for that, and Wang gets the bronze for China. And Best was run out of it. Well, that was looking like a massive shock. Corbin Best up there. He was close to his lifetime best, sure enough. But it's Patricia Ferreira dos Santos who claims it.
Best has one of the best starts in this field. You can see how good his dry face is, but the difference is that top end speed, and he just wasn't quite. Maybe he just got a little bit excited, but Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, I don't remember if he was wearing those compression shorts actually in the heat, and I do wonder, he is a ways off his best at the moment, Patricio. I do wonder if perhaps that played into it, but when it came down to it, he still managed to get ahead. But what a race for Deris, well out of the medals in Paris 2023, and he has come back for a silver.
He can well celebrate. He has every reason to. He wins the 100 meters world title for a 4th time, and that is his 6th world championship gold. He is the 5-time Pan Am champion. He is the world record holder as well. 10:29 from Sao Paulo 2 years ago. Mihao Deris picks up his first world championship medal since London 2017. He was the world champion in Lyon 11 years ago, and again in Doha in 2015. What a race that was. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos, a 4-time 100 meters world champion, 10:83. Deris, the European champion, 2nd, 10:88. Wang, the Asian Games champion, 3rd, 10:88. And Corbin Best, so close to a medal in his major championship debut, 4th, 10.93. The man from South Lake in Texas. Oh, what a race that was. Really and truly. Never mind the times. That was a brilliant contest, and there was only, what, 1/10 of a second between the top 4. For the final action coming up, and it is the women's Javelin F46, and a great field in this. We do not have Holly Robinson. She's not competing in the javelin. She's a slight calf injury. She is competing in the shots. But Holly Arnold is in the lead in this. And we'll see how Lozano of Mexico fares with her first round attempts.
Yeah, very good field in this one. Exceptional. You did mention there about the New Zealander, Holly Robinson, who's not here. She was talking as one of the athletes at the pre-meet press conference yesterday.
Now she is here, she's just not in this final. We had a good long chat with her actually. She's not giving up the javelin. Just that little knock, the little twinge means she's not in this, and she's firmly aiming at Paris for that.
And we've had some really good field action already on this opening day. across both the sessions, not just this one. Plenty still going on as well. Lisa Peterson of Germany. And her lifetime best is 37.46 for the 18-year-old at her first major championships that she set this year. So it's all great experience for her. There are 8 going in this. And Peterson 34.03 for her, so puts her into... she's in 3rd position at the present time with a second throw that wasn't quite as long. Saskia Sokolov, her second one, 34.24. She's in 1st position. And that one's out over the 30-metre mark. Don't think there'll be any improvement. Her lifetime best set this year was 40.45. She won silver last year in the shot put and the 200 metres. Did Saskia Sokolov.
Now, you might think it's an unusual combo to see someone in the sprints and the throws, but actually both involve speed and power and coordination, and the speed in your run-up to throw is quite important in javelin.
Yeah, 33.01 then, has no improvement for her. And the lady who you would expect to be in front is Holly Arnold at the moment. She's at the top of the rankings. This is Shi Gaiting, though, who's currently sitting in 5th position. 33.09 with her opener. She was 9th last year in Paris. There is Holly Arnold. She's the reigning champion, is Holly Arnold from Great Britain. Shi Gaiting over the 30-metre mark. Probably around what she just threw with her opener, 33.09 for that one. For Shi. .32, so no improvement. It was just around that mark, but slightly down on it, so she stays in 5th position. Nurgashieva of Uzbekistan will be next to go. 25 years of age. 38.01 with that lifetime best of hers. That isn't going to be out near 38.01. Yes. So she needs to find around 64 centimetres to usurp Peterson of Germany, who's in 3rd position. .32.22, so remains in 4th, and Holly Arnold, who leads by a massive 5 metres and 20 centimetres at present over Sokolov, who's in the silver medal position, will go with her second. Well, that's not too far off what she threw in their opener. Maybe a little bit less. Reigning champion. She's also won gold back in 2016 in the Paralympic Games in Rio, bronze in 2020 in the delayed Tokyo Paralympic Games. 5-time World Championship gold medalist, European Championship gold medalist, and a Commonwealth Games champion as well is Holly Arnold. Looks nice and relaxed.
Well, she is winning by a very
I was just about to say, it looks nice and relaxed, and I wonder why, because she's winning by over 5 metres at the moment. 38.75, so no improvement, but she does remain top of the pile. 39.44 after her second attempt, and there's still a couple left to go. LaRue of South Africa will be up next. easy to look relaxed, isn't it, when you're over 5 metres out in front?
Well, it's true, but it was interesting chatting with Holly Robinson about how she's keeping herself motivated and trying a new throw. And for Holly Arnold, who's been at the top for so long, it's really about finding those ways to keep wanting to get better.
Yeah, that was LaRue there, who's trying to get past the 30-metre mark, but 6th place for her right now for South Africa.
Well, 16 years of age, hasn't even turned 17 yet, that young lady. So I guess the nerves and the stress of it all probably gets you as well when you're competing in a major championships for the first time.
Well, you know, actually, she's a 34 thrower, right? 34.72, which right now, if she were to replicate that or come close to it, that would actually be 2nd spot.
Yeah, you'd be happy with the silver medal, wouldn't you? So Holly Arnold there to the left, coming back now. LaRue just having a chat with her coach over there to the right. Now she's in 6th position. Didn't improve, 28-27, but if she does manage to get up there to that mark you mentioned, then she's well in with a chance of getting a medal. Now here's Roda of the Netherlands. A foul with her opener. Well, that one's a mark, and that's a decent mark as well. That's out there towards the 35, 36-metre mark.
That was much better from Ruda. And she said that one of the things she's specifically been working on is her leg speed. And we talked about the connection between sprinting and throwing. And that's a much, much better throw from Ruda.
Well, she was 6th last year in Paris. 40.21 is her lifetime best. And this will surely put her up into the medal positions. 35.34. It does. It puts her into the silver medal position. So she rockets up from 8th position up to 2nd. Roda behind Holly Arnold in the silver medal position at present. Sokolov back into 3rd position.
The remarkable thing about our top 3, you've Roda, who was a long jumper for a long time. Sokolov, who's the European 100 and 200 champion. So there's a great variety in this particular field in the F46. Lozano, her 2nd attempt, so 28.88 earlier, and that is well beyond 30 metres. 34.24 right now from Sokolov is bronze. Lozano is a 40-metre throw in a day. That's a lifetime best. Season's best is 34. Lozano has gone strong. She finished 7th in Paris last year at the World Championships, but that is a serious effort. It's going to improve by 4 metres. 32.62. There are 8 in this final, so they will all have the full 6 attempts.
There's some wonderful youth in this final as well. We mentioned about the South African there a moment or two ago, LaRue, who's 16. Roda, who, of course, is only just turned 24. Lozano Mendes, who hasn't even turned 22 yet. And here is one of the youngsters as well, Peterson of Germany, who's only 18.
They are a magnificent javelin nation. We've seen that down through the years, both in the para-athletic circuit and in world athletics as well. Lisa Peterson, she is fouled out on that. It's going to be about 28 metres. She crossed the line and gets the red flag for it.
And actually, one of the huge advantages to having a championships and a Paralympics back-to-back, especially if you're one of the younger athletes, you get a chance to practice exactly what it's going to be like. Of the world champions that have chosen not to come, a lot of them are ones who are already experienced. I probably don't need to rehearse it again, but for the athletes and for Best, who we just saw, I know he'll be disappointed possibly with that 4th place finish, but there's no better way to practice what you're going to face in Paralympics than actually doing it right now.
And Pedersen, by the way, is with one of the great multi-sport clubs around right now, and for a very good reason. Bayer Leverkusen, fantastic in athletics and bad in football right now. She guiding 36.93 her lifetime best. That wouldn't be bad right now. Obviously that a one-off. Let's see what she does here. 33.09 in the opening round has her in 6th position. into the 31.74, her effort there. Ergasheva is now next to go. It's crept over 30 meters for the Uzbek. So she's 2 meters off the pace right now. .38.01 is her lifetime best, but I mean, we do put a lot of emphasis on terms of lifetime best because it's what they are capable of, but obviously they've only done that the once. That's why it's a lifetime best. 31.54, she stays in 5th position. So Sokolov currently in 3rd. 34.24. See in the results system, there's a phantom 35.96 has come up against the name, but that's not the case. The 5-time world champion, Holly Arnold, MBE. 39.44, her best in the opening round, aiming for that 40-meter line, but it's shy of it. But she's having a great time of it so far. She leads by 5 meters. And she's still only 29. That's the impressive thing. She's had a really long career. Her first world championship medal was 12 years ago in Christchurch as a teenager, and obviously she had the great success for Wales in winning gold at the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast. 37.40 is not an improvement, but she leads. Roorda in 2nd. 35.34. LaRue, can she get beyond 30 meters here? Tremendously young athlete. It's landed around that mark and might have actually slid under the tape. Championship debutante. .74.72, that lifetime best would still actually be good enough for a medal right now, but yeah, 29.96, it was as close as it gets. There's good enthusiasm from the South African contingent here. This is late in the program. We still have one track final to come, but we are largely staying with the javelin. And here is Noelle Roorda, who's in the silver medal position. 35.34. Oh, that's brilliant. That might be an improvement for the Dutch woman. They have one of the best para-athletic squads around right now. And the woman from Amstelveen, such a big fan of Thomas Roller. That is heading up 37 plus. .37 meters, 58, and she is only 1.90 meters off Arnold. She's a big prospect here, no doubt about it now. 60 years ago was the European champion, the Paralympic silver medalist, and right now up into silver here too.
You can see a few of the athletes, Roorda, one of them, choosing to wear strapping around their core, and actually that's just telling you, and that scream, how difficult javelin can be on the body.
Now Lozano has got a chance of improving on a 32.62 here, 7th last time in Paris. And she's still only 21 as well. She does improve by 3/4 of a meter, 33, 38, and she moves up into 6th position. And you'll just have to take my word for it. Rushdie. So good. Oh, you know the rest.
What, they named him twice? There we go. So this is the F55 final. Rushdie, the last of the athletes to go, all 6 taken at the same time. Currently in the lead is Hamed Amiri of Iran, 12:56. His mark, way out there. This man we're watching now, though, gold medalist in 2015 in Doha, 2017 in London, last year in Paris. So they're saving the best till last. We'll see if he can come home with the goods. So we await his opening effort. So as usual in this, there'll be 3 attempts, and then they'll get a chance to have a drink, reassess, reposition if need be for the 3-time European champion. So we're just about ready. Rushdie gets us underway. That's out just shy of the 12-metre mark. Now his best is 12:68. That's the world record that he set last year in Paris, which was also obviously the championship record. So the mark he has to beat is 12:56 from Amiri. Now that puts him up into 2nd position, 11:72. So Amiri came awfully close to that world and championship record, 12 centimetres shy of it, of what was set last year by Rushdie. So the Bulgarian in the silver medal position after his first. And that one is around the same mark. It's just under that 12-metre mark you saw there. So Amiri, who leads at the moment, actually holds a championship record in the F54. He's now F55 after being reclassified, but he was F54. He said that back in London in 2017. We'll come back to that in just a moment or two's time, because we're going to head back to the track for the final of the evening. Women's 400 metres T37. There are 4 to go in this one. And there they are, all 4 will start for the last event on the track in the evening. Van Kerm, Yang, Hals and Slanova. As darkness encapsulates this stadium.
400
So running as a neutral is Victoria Slanova, 27 years of age, lifetime best of 105.46, 108.3 set this year.
Lane 7, representing South Africa.
Liesl House has always just missed out on medals. She finished 5th last year in Paris.
Lane 6,
Yang
representing
Fen,
People's Republic of China.
Paralympic champion from 2020. She also won gold in 2018 in the Paralympic Asian Games. And Selma Van Kerm of Belgium. 17 years of age, turns 18 in September. She finished 7th last year.
Final starts.
World and championship record held by Georgie Hermitage of Great Britain, set back in London in 2017.
On your marks.
So Yang will go as favourite, the reigning Paralympic champion.
Set.
And away they get, and Yang gets away very good indeed. She's already up on the inside shoulder of Liesl Howells of South Africa, and she's raced past her already, picking up Sanova on the outside, who's running as a neutral. As they head down the back straight after around 150 metres or so, Yang Fen of China is looking very good. Bronze medalist last year in this event, back in Paris, also in 2017 and 2019. At the moment, she's heading towards a gold medal here in Kobe 2024. She rounds with around 120 metres to go, and she's got about 10 or 15 metres at the moment on Sanova, who's running out in lane 8. As she rounds and comes into the home stretch with 100 metres to go. She's looking very, very comfortable indeed. Sanova has made up a little bit of ground on the outside. She's just starting to tighten up somewhat, is Yang Fen. But you can hear the Chinese athletes and attendees in the crowd really roaring her on. She's going to take the victory and head across the line. 102.49. Sanova takes second, and coming in third position is Liesl Howells. And fourth, coming across the line now, is Belgium's Soa van Kerm. So 102.49 is the time it's rounded off to. So Yang Fen, after picking up bronze last year in Paris, adds the gold medal to her Paralympic gold from a few years ago. But she got off to a great start, Steph, and she just continued on from there.
Yang Fen did have a great start, and it was interesting to note that of all 4 athletes, she was the only one who chose not to use starting blocks. It's not a requirement, and what you want to do is just pick the best position for you. You can see her gritting her teeth as she comes down that 400-meter strength, or that 40-meter straight. That is what it feels like to have your legs swimming in lactic. And this is a T37 category, which means it's coordination impairment, and they feel that lactic even more in this event than an able-bodied runner.
Yeah, T37, the second least of the coordination impairment categories, but still you do tighten up. That spasticity as you come towards the end, it really gets hold of people with that lactic acid, whether you be able-bodied or be a para-athlete. Yang Fen then, 102.48 for her, picking up that gold medal. Sanova, a season best time for her in second, and Liesl Howells in third position, a season best 108.23 for the South African. So she'll be happy. She's finally broken that duck after being there or thereabouts. She's picked up a place on the podium in this one. Lifetime best though for Selma van Kerm of Belgium, the 16-year-old youngster. 112.59 for her. So all 4 picking up something along the lines of what they wanted.
Actually, in this particular event, with there being only 4 athletes, only 2 medals are going to be given out.
So Yang picks up that gold medal. Well, there's the Brazilians looking on. They were happy with their man Ferreira a moment or two ago when he claimed the gold in the penultimate track event of the evening. Youngsters all enjoying themselves. Kenyans out there in the crowd as well. It's been a marvellous first day of competition. And Kobe have already shown themselves to be quite the hosts. It was delayed by 3 years, was supposed to be 2021. Is he winning, putting that car together? That was the question.
Yeah, this is kind of a rare view of the crowd in the closing straight. It's been a decent crowd, really big crowds in the morning, around 6,000-7,000. It's the -1 principle, by the way. So 4 starters, there are 3 medals. If you're Liesl Howells' family watching back home, don't worry, she's going to get the bronze, and she deserves it. I wonder who they're supporting. Jiang takes the gold, 102.48 for China. Sanova, the neutral athlete, with the silver, and Liesl Howells the bronze for South Africa. And Selma van Kerm, lifetime best 112.59 for the 17-year-old from the Rocker Club. based in Shanley, the European Para Youth Games champion, over 800 meters. Rushdie of Bulgaria in the men's shot put F55. The third strongest of the seated throwing categories. And again, a hatful of medals in his career, that landing right on 12 meters, close to it. Push the tape. All the throws, of course, coming at once. And he's well primed for a medal now. He can wheel away with a silver medal in the back pocket. 12 meters 04, his best. Look at that set of marks. Only 11 centimeters between the last 4 of them. F46 women's javelin, the arm amputee category. And it is Holly Arnold who leads Saskia Sokolov by almost 2.5 meters. Sokolov's 4th round attempt was 38.55, which was within a meter of Arnold, and that pushed Arnold on to go out to 40 meters 89. Only attempt beyond 40 so far. Lozano of Mexico, the Pan Am silver medalist last year in Santiago. He's gone out to 35.46 as we saw in the 4th round. That puts her 4th. Added 2 meters onto her 3rd round mark. And that has made her a medal contender, and she just needs another couple of meters. She's a 40-meter thrower. That is her lifetime best. Obviously a one-off. Ogasheva, 33.76, her best in the 4th round. Has gone out to 38 meters in her career. And that is not going to hit that mark. That's around 35. Will probably be her best of the night. So halfway, we've reached a reset of in reverse where the competitors were at that stage. That is her best, 35.38. And she goes into 5th position, only 8 centimeters behind Lozano. Holly Arnold is well in control here for Great Britain, leading on 40.89. Lisa Pedersen of Bayer Leverkusen and Germany. Well, they know how to develop them. 34.68, and she has thrown 37 meters this year. That's just beyond 30. Can be a case of conditions and atmosphere and so on. It's turning into a heavy night. It went dark very quick in Kobe. That will not surpass 34.68. She still took the white flag, 30.88. And we're down to the top 3. So Saskia Sokolov goes now. 38.55 in the 4th round. So silver in the 200 and the javelin last year, 4th in the 100 meters in Paris. That's stuck on 30.
I spoke a little bit about the strapping around the core, and that's actually a great shot in slow motion. You can see that as the athlete goes to throw that javelin, their entire body decelerates, and the impact that has on your joints and on your knees, that's why the athletes, apart from having really strong cores and working really hard on that, they wear that strapping as a source of protection.
Took the foul that time, broke the plane. Roda in the bronze medal position, 37.58. 97 centimeters behind Sokolov. Looking to aim this further towards 40. Oh, that's not bad. It's landed around 36 from Roorda. So the European champion 3 years ago in Bydgoszcz, and that brilliant silver medal in the Paralympic Games. In Tokyo. And as so many athletes will tell you, just such a pity that they weren't able to share it with their family and friends, and the stadium being empty. 40.06 she threw in the Olympic Stadium in Tokyo.
Even with that empty stadium, I remember we would have some members of the Japanese public. They'd be standing outside where our buses came into the athlete village, holding up signs that said, "We are so glad you're here," and they were amazing to come home to every night.
Here's our leader, the bronze medalist in Tokyo, the gold in Rio, gold in Paris, gold in Dubai and in London and in Lyon and in Doha. And certainly it's going to happen here. That's stuck around 40 meters again. She's on her way to her 6th world title.
The fact that Holly just asked for the clap there. She hasn't done it in any of the previous rounds, but that is a sign she is feeling pretty confident, and now she wants to start celebrating this great competition with the rest of the crowd. She is so, so good at delivering when it counts.
Gold in the Gold Coast in the Commonwealth Games, 39.79, which in itself would be enough for the gold medal position right now, as was her first attempt.
You can see there's some athletes choosing to wear a prosthesis. I suspect for Holly, that one is more just for balance as she comes on her run-up.
LaRue, last attempt, trying to break 30, and that just slumps down. It's just not really been her night. She's a 34 thrower. She is 16 years old. And she will have very, very many more competitions to go. She guiding 4th in the shots at the World Championships last year. And she herself is still only 23. Her final attempt. Just a little stop on the run-up here. The fatigue is really coming in now after hours and hours of throwing. Silver she kiting, by the way, in the Asian Games, behind Yakovleva of Uzbekistan, who's not competing in this tonight. Kenya Lozano, the Pan Am silver medalist in this last year in Santiago. If she can get an extra 2 meters, that would have her up in the medals, but it's just the time now where they're just looking somewhat tired.
It is such a physical event in that the amount of explosive power you have to bring round after round after round. But I suspect that Noelle Roorda perhaps breathed a small sigh of relief, knowing that she now has a reasonable buffer in the bronze medal position.
Still 5 to throw after this. Well, Holly Arnold has got a lot to be happy about. Ergasheva coming here. So 35.38 is the best so far, and that is around the same mark. But Holly Arnold is well on the way to victory here. She keeps coming back for more. As she turns 30 between now and the Paralympic Games. It's always a nice little milestone. Lozano's previous mark, you probably saw visually, was 34.68. Not her best of the night. Ergasheva, again, is half a meter down, 34.85. Lisa Pedersen had that nice peak of almost 35 meters in the fourth round. Couldn't quite achieve the same heights with a fifth round attempt, and similarly in the sixth. But she's had a decent championship debut. From a real sporting hotspot city right now, where certainly a club is, Bayer Leverkusen. Just looks as if she feels it's not quite been her night. Maybe reading slightly too much into that. Sixth in a debut world championship, I still think it's really decent. Saskia Sokolov, so impressive, both on the track and in the field. And that's heading out around 36. And also, she's competed in the shot put in a few recent championships as well. The European champion over 100, 200, silver in the javelin at the last Euros in Bydgoszcz. She's just an absolutely blinding all-rounder. 36.96. Sokolov is set for silver unless Roda overtakes, but surely nobody's overtaking this woman.
You can see Arnold right now is pacing. She knows that she is close, but one of the worst things that you can do is think you have it and somebody comes in and throws a big one, perhaps like Roda's going to do, and then have to get yourself back up. So Holly Arnold at the moment just keeping things quite cool and calm, making sure she is ready to respond. However, right now, Roda has an opportunity. You can see her talking to herself. Let's go, come on.
She needs one more meter for the silver, for the Netherlands. It's close to it, it's definitely close to it. Sokolov is 38.55, Roda's best is 37.58 tonight. And the European champion might just have been overtaken by the woman who finished second behind her in Bydgoszcz in 2021. 38.55 is the target. I'm not sure she's made it. She's not sure she's made it. Holly Arnold has definitely made it. Roda so close, 38.41, misses out by 14 centimeters. It's bronze for Roda. Sokolov has the silver, just like last year in Paris. But here's our champion. Holly Arnold gets the gold for Great Britain. 40.89 with a fourth round attempt. Still a decent crowd in the Universiade Stadium in Curvey to watch Holly Arnold with her lap of honour throw. And it's around 40 metres again. That might just be the best of the night. Holly Arnold has the gold. She has her sixth world title. One of the most successful athletes perennially that Great Britain has produced in para-athletics. She has won events every championship, and she keeps on winning it. No multiple attempts at gold for her. This is her chosen specialist subject, and she's a master at it. 40 minutes 29, but Holly Arnold is the world champion again.
You can see how much that meant to Arnold. She did not have to take that final jump. She could have sat it out. The gold was hers, but she wants to be here. She wants to throw. She wants to throw big. And she has laid down her marker ahead of Paris 2024. We've got so many great champions here, and they've all said the same thing. We want to be here, we want to compete, and there is plenty of time to recover before Paris.
It would have been so easy for her to say, it's all about Paris. The World Championships is still the World Championships. Around 95% of the title holders from Paris are here. And Holly Arnold finishes top of the pile again. A great result for the Welsh woman.
It needs 2 arms for this.
Gold for Great Britain. She's always had the coordination. And she has the gold again, ahead of Saskia Sokoloff in the silver and Noelle Roorda, the bronze for the Netherlands. That's a great result for Sokoloff as well. And she was really pushed for it, 38.55. Roorda was only 14 centimeters away, but they all know each other so well, respect each other, love each other. Friendly rivalry. But the woman that they all have to beat, they just couldn't top her. Holly Arnold does it again. Her 7th global gold.
Yeah, of course. He knows he's a camera guy.
And she remains a brilliant champion, and I suppose in some ways it's almost very easy to take something like that for granted, but she's been really pushed tonight by Sokoloff and Roorda, and she generally is by Robinson as well, who remember finished 4th last year to the Paralympic champion in Paris. So there's no given about what Robinson would have done here. There's very little between the top 3 here. Basically the best 4, 5 in the world. There's only a couple of meters between them right now. And Arnold is just doing enough to keep the rest at bay.
No, it's not a foregone conclusion. This is a very, very competitive event. Holly came 3rd at the Paralympics in Tokyo. She always seems to make it happen at the World Championships.
Gentlemen first, I come later.
But all of the women know at these competitions, any one of those 4 can be sitting on the top. And how great for that photographer to realize that there's nothing else going on that field right now, making sure they get a great photo, a great memory. These athletes work so hard day in and day out, and World Championships, Paralympic events, they don't come around very often. It's not like footballers are going to play a game every week. This moment matters, and they'll have a great memory from it.
Holly Arnold, world champion for a 6th time. The only athlete to clear 40 meters. The gold for Great Britain, silver for Saskia Sokoloff of Serbia, and bronze for Noelle Roorda of the Netherlands. Kenny Lozano of Mexico in 4th, Ergasheva of Uzbekistan in 5th, Pedersen 6th, Sheik Aiting 7th, and LaRue in 8th.
Well, the event that started off the evening is going to finish off the evening. Women's club throw F32 final, which is ongoing. This is the penultimate thrower. We have Juana Brito Oliveira of Brazil. It's been quite some evening for Brazil. Ferreira dos Santos has picked up a gold medal, and Brazil now sit 1 and 2 in this women's club throw F32 final. That's because Giovanna Boscolo, at her first major championship, is in the lead. 24.35 was her best effort, and 23.46 at the moment, with this second of that lady there, Brito Oliveira, is pushing her compatriot all the way. So the 22-year-old Boscolo, at her major championship debut, could be coming away with a gold medal, dependent on what her teammate and rival does here. She was 5th back in Paris last year, this lady. guaranteed a medal of some description because there's only one more to go after this. And that'll be Marwa Ibrahimi. So Ibrahimi will go afterwards, but there are 3 more attempts yet for Brito Oliveira. And she took her rest, repositioned, and gets ready to go again. Well, that's way out over that 20-metre mark. That's out towards around 24 metres. She likes it. It may well put her into the lead. 24.35 is the mark she has to beat. She's already thrown 23.46. This her 4th attempt. Now you see some of the athletes do face forward and throw it over their shoulder that way. Some opt to throw it back over their head. It is completely dependent on what the athlete wants to do.
She has had to be so patient. We started this event at 5. It is now almost 3 hours later.
I can tell you the championship record has just been broken by Brito Oliveira with her last throw. 24.97. It puts her up into the gold medal position. The championship record held before that by Ibrahimi, who's going to go last from Tunisia. So the pressure is now on her, but this lady here is in first position with a new championship record, taking her up into the gold medal position with 2 throws left.
That puts into context just how big these throws are. That one looked even bigger. And as he pointed out, we've seen a bit of different, we've seen some variety in terms of how the athletes throw. Brito Oliveira choosing to throw forward, as she also has a bar attached to her chair, which is perfectly legal. The only requirement is that bar cannot have any sort of spring. But some of the athletes need that bar in order to maintain their balance on top of the chair.
Well, there it is, 26.66. She hasn't just beaten that championship record she's just set. She has absolutely obliterated it by about 1.70 meters. 1 metre and 69 centimetres she's added to the championship record she broke with her 4th throw. So her 5th one of 26.66. She is way out in front by over 2 metres. This her last attempt. She could be heading for the gold medal after finishing in 5th position last year in Paris. 26.38 before this coming in was her lifetime best. She's 28 centimetres further than that. She's broken the championship record. She's got nothing to lose with this final throw here. Not as far for that one. But she's in the gold medal position. And there's only one left to throw. And that is the lady who's won gold at the World Para-Athletics Championships on no less than 5 occasions. She was a silver medalist last year, was Ibrahimi. She's going to have to come up with something special if she's going to get up into the gold medal position. She'll be last to go.
And this is actually a big deal for Brazil for 2 reasons. Because she will finish, Brito Oliveira, guaranteed 1 or 2 spots. And apart from medals, quota spots are also up for Paris. The top 2 athletes in each event earn a quota spot, which means their country, Brazil, can bring a bigger team overall to Paris. So there's a few things that are really important about this throw.
23.60 for that final throw there. And I can tell you also, there's been 2 yellow cards in this women's club throw F32 final. And both of them have been for non-compliance of equipment. Al-Kabi of the United Arab Emirates, who's in 7th position, and also, who hasn't gone yet, Marwa Ibrahimi, who's last to throw. She's on a yellow card for non-compliance of equipment. So that puts a bit of added pressure on her as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to point out. So these chairs that we're looking at, they are really highly regulated. There are a lot of rules around the height of the chair, around the material they can be made of, and before the competition starts, all of the equipment is brought into the call room where it is assessed by a technical official. Now, if the officials find something wrong with the chair, the athlete is given a yellow card, but they are given the opportunity to do what it takes to make that chair compliant. And if they can do it and can do it quickly, then the athlete is allowed to compete.
How difficult would it be to do that? To fix it?
Well, I guess it depends. If, for example, let's say you brought a chair in and they realize the chair has to be a maximum height of 75 centimeters. Let's say your chair is at 80, but you have a really thick cushion. I would yank that cushion off.
Interesting. I'll come back with another point in a moment on that. But let's just confirm the men's shot put F37 final places. It was Makarov who took the gold medal. And here is the man who took third place in the F37, Ben Mosler, of 15.34, picking up a bronze for him. Men's shot put F37, finished a little bit earlier. .15.34, that was his fourth attempt for the man from Tunisia. Woo! Now Kinchigov, who picked up second position with a season best throw, rather, of 15.51. That was with his very last attempt. So Kinchigov, a neutral para-athlete at these games. And first place picked up by the Uzbekistani with a lifetime best of 15.68. Marikujev. And this came with his second throw. He liked it. And there was distance on it as well. 15.68. .17 centimetres further than Kinchigov to pick up the gold medal and become the world champion at Kobe 2024. So rounding it up, a lifetime best of 15.68 for Marikujev. Kinchigov, season best 15.51, and Bez Mosler, 15.34 for him from Tunisia, picking up the bronze medal in that one. Yurdashev of Uzbekistan, not his day. So top and bottom, bookending the shot put F37 men's final. Well, it was a decent night in the long jump pit as well for China. Chen twice breaking the championship record at his first major championship, 6.62. Di Dongdong picking up second place. And Yi Tao picking up the third position with this jump that came in at 6.48. Also a major championship debut for this man. So a night of medals for China in the men's long jump T11 complete visual impairment category.
Nice girl.
Smiles all around. Di Dongdong was the defending champion. But he had to be content with second place despite that rather lovely jump then, which was out to 6.50 metres. It didn't prove enough in the end. Didn't hurt the China 1, 2, 3. That's because this man we're about to see, Chen Shichang, twice broke the championship record. 6.62 with this effort here. You heard the gasp from the crowd. It was long. He kept everyone on the edge of their seats. And he delivered in spades. So a championship record for the second time for that man there, and he takes the gold medal. China 1, 2, 3, 662 for Chen, Di Dongdong 650, and Yi Tao 648. Lifetime best for him. Shavrikov with a lifetime best for him in 4th, and Egamrov in 5th position as well. So the women's club throw. Brita Oliveira, a championship record for the Brazilian. Her compatriot, Boscolo, at her first major championship, is in 2nd position. This lady here is the last to go. So the only one who can upset the apple cart is Ibrahimi. There are our two Brazilians. Brita Oliveira was on the left. Boscolo was on the right. Mara Ibrahimi, silver medalist last year, getting herself ready to go. She'll have 3 throws. She'll reposition herself and she'll go again. So Ibrahimi's still in the warm-up.
And don't forget, Ibrahimi will have been sitting there for the past 3 hours waiting, and so she will really need to make sure she takes her time with that warm-up, gets herself settled, gets her body activated, ready to go again. And once the athlete has been positioned into the chair, they then get the opportunity to take a few throws before their 6 attempts actually start.
That there will be the first one, which is marked for Ibrahimi. It looked quite long, didn't it? So 26.66 is the mark, which is out in front at the moment. So 25.41, that's a season best for Ibrahimi. It puts her up into the silver medal position. Now, she's got a lot of work to do. There's a metre and 25 in that. But that looks bigger indeed. So she may well be working herself up into the gold medal position.
Once again, we can see the variety in terms of the technique. There's a lot of freedom in this event in terms of how you hold the club, whether you want to throw forward or backward or sideways. And it just really offers the athlete the ability to tailor their style of throw to maximize their athletic abilities.
So no improvement in the second one, 25.11. That one there, though, well, that looks out towards the 26-metre mark. So there'll be a short little break now as she gets the option of repositioning and having a drink. .26.60, so she's 6 centimetres short. And jostling herself up with 3 to go, she has 6 centimetres to make up. So silver medalist last year. Penny for their thoughts. Brita Oliveira on the left and Boscolo on the right.
Well, Boscolo knows that she's going to be in bronze medal position no matter what at this stage, but really this is about Brita Oliveira. She can do nothing at this moment but watch and see. She has seen her lead now been reduced to 6 centimeters, with Ibrahimi getting closer and closer as this competition goes on. And Tunisia's already had a gold in the throws this morning, and I suspect there's a lot of Tunisians waiting around hoping there is a second.
And no surprises, it was Rawa Talili who picked up the gold medal in that one. Doesn't know any other colour but gold, does Talili. Now Brahmi is now ready to go. She has 3 efforts. Well, that one might be the one that does it. From the naked eye, that looks like it's going to have gone further than 26.60. It looks like it's up around the 27-metre mark, that one. Now we just wait. Well, it doesn't improve. 26.39. Well, I thought that had done it. Well, that one's around the same mark as well. We're dealing in centimetres now, aren't we? Literally.
But these officials really have to be on their toes because those small margins are going to matter. You can see how quickly they're marking and getting that mark in to make sure it is as accurate as possible.
Well, 26.39 with the fourth. Now, the problem is you start to get a bit of a burn towards the end. 26.16, so here it is. It's all or nothing. We've waited 3 hours for this competition. It's come down to the crescendo at the end. Rawa Ibrahimi with her last throw. Well, that's at around the same. Has it got there, though? That's the question. Or is it going to be Brazil who pick up a gold medal through Juana Helena Brito Oliveira? She broke the championship record of 26.66. That's a season best so far for Ibrahimi, with her third attempt, I should say. Well, what has she done? Well, Ibrahimi hasn't bettered it. 24.94, so it is Brazil who pick up through that lady there on the left. Tears of joy. Juana Brito Oliveira has picked up the gold medal for Brazil. It is Tunisia through that lady there, Ibrahimi, who just misses out by 6 centimetres and takes the silver. And Boscolo, at her first major championships, the youngster picks up the bronze medal for Brazil. What a finish to that one.
Well, that was an ending worthy waiting for. She had the entire stadium watching, waiting with Brito Oliveira. At least she had emotional support right beside her. But we could actually hear the Brazilians erupt before we could even see the result. They are absolutely thrilled with that win, that gold medal.
Well, you may have heard of a slow burner. That's the epitome of one. It's taken over 3 hours, but we've got to a result, and right at the end, it really builds up. And we got the excitement, the enjoyment, the crowd joining in, and everything worked in the favour of the lady there standing with that flag around Juana Helena Brito Oliveira picks up the gold medal for Brazil. Another gold, a gold with Ferreira dos Santos a little bit earlier on the track. So it's been quite an evening for the Brazilians, and 4 gold medals in total for them.
Tell you what, that was a real thriller of a club throw competition, considering it started 3 hours and 10 minutes ago. And basically, it was the last throw of the competition, the very last throw, that we worked out who would be the champion or not. And this time, Mara Ibrahim was not the winner.
Well, she's picked up a silver to go with last year as well, so she'll be disappointed, but she has another chance when we roll around to Paris later this year. She looks upset, she looks disappointed, but unfortunately that's sport, and that's how things go. But it was still a magnificent effort, considering, as you mentioned, Steph, that she was sitting there for that period of time, having to wait and wait and wait right from the very beginning and right to the very end to be the one who had to throw and try and come up with something late on.
It was a brilliant performance from Ibrahimi, and I know she perhaps didn't look as excited as she would have wanted. You can tell she came in there and she wanted the gold medal, but it was a brilliant silver, and it just shows the fine margin, 6 centimeters. But really, that final had everything you could want. You had to wait right until the end. It had the drama of the yellow cards, and if you're going to sit with an event for 3 hours, you want it to come down to the final throw.
I think she really appreciates it now. It's beginning to... There was the disappointment a few moments ago that the gold was not hers because it was so close, 6 centimeters, and she was getting closer and closer. But I think the realization now is a World Championship silver. Nearly all the big names, only a handful of big names, have not come to Kobe for these World Championships, so she has a lot to be satisfied and delighted about on this Friday night. They were sitting out there for over 3 hours, and it has got quite cold now. It's been an excellent opening day here, and as I say, probably the best attended morning session we've had at anything since London 2012. Thousands and thousands here, which is brilliant to see. It's been a brilliant opening day for Brazil. 4 gold medals to their name. One of Brita Oliveira right here, right now. Patricio Ferreira dos Santos in the 100 T47. Yeltsin Jacques, first gold medal of the championships. World record in the men's 5,000 meters T11. And Zeleda Cassiano de Silva coming in the women's T20 long jump. It's been a great opening day for them. And you want to see some more? Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Japan time. That's 2 a.m. Central European and Central African time. 1 a.m. UK, Ireland, Portugal. 8 p.m. Eastern time, US and Canada. And from that, you can hopefully work out the rest. He said that already. Well, they've had a belting night here. That actually was a real grandstand finish to the evening in terms of that club throw. Actually, it's been really good to be able to bring a lot of that to you, and the javelin as well.
And there is confirmation of those final results. Juana Brito Oliveira with a championship record taking the gold. Ibrahimi, a season best, 6 centimeters shy of Brito Oliveira. And Boscolo at her first major championships picks up a bronze medal, 24:35 for the young Brazilian. Well, it has got a little bit chilly as well here this evening. Wonderful day. The weather was great. As the sun's gone down, there's no cloud cover. It has got a bit chilly, but...
Good news, no wind today. Men's shot put F55, Nebojša Đurić of Serbia. He led for a good bit of this. Ended up being a bronze medal for him, going out to 11 meters 57, just shy of that 12-meter mark. Yep, margins, and you can tell how long this competition went on as well. We're into darkness by the time Rushdie comes on the scene, just beyond the 12-meter line, just brushing it. 12:04 for the silver for the big Bulgarian. Impressive upper body strength here. Hamed Emiri of Iran. A belting throw well beyond 12 meters. 12:56, a new Asian record, and that is good enough for the gold.
Excuse me.
Emiri improving his lifetime best by 13 centimeters, and that was very close to Rushdie's world record of 12:68. Set him winning the world title in Paris last year, but he is world champion no more.
Well, it's been some day. There's been medals aplenty. 13, in fact, all up for the day. There'll be 7 when we get underway in the morning session tomorrow. Day 2 of 9 at these championships. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Run it up.